Looking good. So, we are going to do some knife sharpening. I hope everything went through all right. We're going to sharpen up some knives. I do have some new stones from, what was the company's name? Trend Tool Technologies. So, going to be testing out this double-sided stone. It has a 300 and a 1000. It is a long stone. I think it's approximately about 8 inches, 3 by 8 inches, maybe a little bit longer than that, but regardless, it's around that size. Using this new clamp that I have from DMD, not DMT, DMD. It's the same company that I got that one tri-stone from that I've shown you guys. It's like 40-50 bucks. Really good setup for 40-50 bucks. But anyways, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing? I'm I hope, did the title say ask me anything? I gotta make sure because I'm not, I gotta pop it up over here. Sometimes when I go live, it messes up. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, it's fine. All right, let's get into this. So I have a new stone, double-sided stone, 300 and a 1000 from Trend Tool Technologies. Inside here came this little rubber mat, which is just to put under the stone, but I would never recommend doing that because if the stone is just laying on a flat surface, you won't be able to sharpen because your fingers can't get, between the stones and between the top of the stone and the surface. So you need it to be lifted up. See how my knuckles are hanging lower than the stone? So don't recommend that thing, but I can understand, like, maybe if you're on the edge or something, and you use the edge of a table, I kind of get it. But what it did also come with, if it'll pop out, is this eraser, I guess. It looks like I smelled it. It's I think it's like a pencil eraser. That sometimes works really well for ceramics and stuff, which I do have some ceramics pulled out. We have some other stones pulled out. We got sharpening equipment all around us always. Let's see. Bradford, thank you for the support, man. Been a member with the Benchmates for 6 months. Welcome over from Texas. Thank you, man. Had a great time. Had a great time with Marine X. You guys should definitely go if you haven't seen that live. It was a good time. It just started getting juicy at the end. You guys know how it goes. It seems like I would love to do like a 4-hour live. Like a Joe Rogan thing where it's just, just as long as you want to sit there and bullshit. Because it always seems like it's about an hour in when things start getting good. Sorry, guys. It always seems like that. Let's see here. Trend is popular with the woodworkers who don't need to hang off the side for plain irons and chisels. True. You got me there. That's true. And I can understand that. That's a good point. Yes, when you're using chisels, you're up on top. So I get it. I should do a chisel video. I know pretty soon here I'm going to do the cigar cutter video. I showed this in an Instagram video where I was smoking a stogie. Got some of these from Fox, Italian made. That's going to be fun. But I want to show how to sharpen that because that's definitely a weird one for people. My paper towels. All right. So we're going to get sharpening here in 1 second. Just let some more people come in here. If you guys have any questions, any sharpening questions or any questions about anything, that's why it's called Ask Me Anything. Let me turn down my damn ringers and they keep going off. Come on. You son of a bitch. I can't shut it off. Keeps popping away every time I put this phone is jacked. I gotta get a new phone. There we go. All right. Where is the 420 at? Man, I haven't smoked in a while. Every once in a while, if family smokers, I might take a puff, but I haven't smoked in a long time. I do have a little bit, and I do have a gummy, but I don't, because I've had it like 6 months or longer. Good seeing you. Thanks for the edge approval. You got it, Kevin. Yeah, no, you know what, man? Yeah, Blade Show was awesome, man. Getting to see everybody, getting hanging out with Marine X in his studio. Man, he's got a nice studio. Makes a motherfucker like me jealous. It is a beautiful studio, great setup. And we did. What about MKC? What is MKC? What's MKC? I'd love to see the Concept Orient or the Orion sharpened with that milled blade. I think I have it out. No, you know what? I got two different ones pulled out right now. I don't have it pulled out right next to me, but it's just the same. There's no difference really. But I understand what you're saying. Hey, over a year now, Paul, man. Thank you, man. Been a member with the Benchmates for 14 months. Too bad it's not a Rockstead membership. Otherwise, you'd be getting a premium knife sent to you like Peter Flanagan. He just became a member with the Rocksteads for over 1 year. So we sent him a nice, expansive knife. What's up, Neves? Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you. Clavid. Oh, Montana Knife Company. Yeah, I want to get some of their stuff, man. I want to get some of their stuff. I'll be honest. I seen the video of their guys sharpening their knives, and I 1,000,000% disagree with the way he sharpened. And I don't know if it's an understanding issue, but the statements that were made make no sense at all for anybody who's sharpening. And if you understand sharpening at like a microscopic level, you would know it doesn't make sense. That being said, that doesn't mean their knives are bad. That doesn't mean anything like that. I've never tested their knives. A lot of people love their knives. I know they have thin geometry knives, which I absolutely love. This is only a $35 knife, and this thing has really thin geometry too. This is a great slicer, but this is not a hard use knife. This would be more of a light duty slicer. It does have a nice strong crossbar lock. It's very similar, by the way, to the titanium tack ray, just a little bit smaller. This is a great affordable way to get into a premium knife. VG10 titanium scales for like 70, 80 bucks, 80 bucks, something like that. This only 33 bucks. I linked it down in the description. I'm so glad I was able to catch this live stream. It's been too long. I finished preparing my grandparents' house for their return, coming back on medical flight after 1 year due to multiple strokes. Sorry to hear that, man. I'm glad you got the house done, but yeah, sorry to hear that. There he is. There's Peter Flanagan right there. Been a member for 27 months with the Rockstead. So that's 2 years in, and he just got his second premium knife. Taught my dad to sharpen last month. Should have seen his face when the knife he sharpened sliced through paper. It is a nice experience. It's definitely a nice experience because, you know, it's there's something satisfying about doing something, building anything. If you build something, because sharpening, it's not building like in terms of actual building like construction, but you are building an edge and you are creating something. So it's similar, it has a similar feeling, like a fulfilling feeling when you build something, right? And you do it nice and it's done well and you're like, I did that. You know, it's kind of the same thing. I think it's a very rewarding skill for men, especially because, you know, we've been, you know, fighting battles for thousands of years with blades and needed them for everything possible. So understanding how to sharpen has always been a skill that somebody needs to know. All right, so let's get into sharpening this one. I have a broken tip because it's so thin. I stabbed it into something and pried. It was completely my fault. I pried with it. And this is not the knife you pry with. I'm actually glad it snapped, to be honest, because if it would have bent, then that means the steel would be soft. The fact that it snapped off so easily means the steel's probably pretty hard. It's D2 steel, but it's just so thin. You know, that's what you're going to get. Just sub. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it, man. Bought a Vosti Raccoon like 2 weeks ago. Already broke 3 Omega springs. What? There's got to be something with my... Yeah, no, it's the Omega springs. I don't know how... How did you have 3? Did they send you an extra set? And that's what you're saying? You broke 2? So sometimes, I had this happen to me one time. And I'm guessing this is your issue. Either one of 2 things. One, corrosion gets in there and rust builds up on the Omega springs. So you need to figure that out if that's the case. If they were rusty, if they're not, which I doubt they were because you probably just got it, then it's catching on something. So when I had the Benchmade bug out, I had a 3-set snap on me, like just back to back to back. Like I had a knife, I didn't flip it 100 times and it snapped again. And I got people saying, I've had knives for 7 years and never broke any. And I do too right now. I have plenty of knives with Omega springs that have never broken. I think what was happening was they were binding up under the scale. So try to check for that. That's probably the issue. But you can easily get new Omega springs. You can make Omega springs, but you should buy some. One of my Omega springs were rusty, actually. There you go. That's the reason. So that is like memory wire. That's what it is. And memory wire is not like a stainless steel. It has the ability to corrode pretty quickly. At least to my knowledge, I don't think it's a stainless. If it is, it's a low-grade stainless. So that's how I felt when I successfully tested a cane I built purposely for martial arts training. It broke on Wednesday, but it just motivated me to build another one. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm a pirate and need your booty. All right, Grasshopper, good luck. Dang, Marine X is live right. Oh, is he? Man, we should be live together. What the hell? What the hell, man? He should be live with me right now. Okay, so we have the Trend Stone. This is the Trend Tool Technology. It's a 300 and a 1000. So we're going to test it out. This is the first time me testing it. I do have a DMD clamp, and what I like about this is you just click this and you can move this, so I don't have to sit there and spin the knobs on like my other one. And it does have multiple different levels, and if you have something too wide for it, you can flip it over and use this side. At least I found that it works just fine as long as you have a rubber mat. But it has rubber feet, and I have this rubber mat so it doesn't slide. The reason why you're bouncing right now is because my table's hitting my other table. Fix that so you guys aren't bouncing around. Yeah, there we go. So the table only bounces, not you guys. What micron strop compound should I be using after coming off a 1200 grit diving stone? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can use a 6, a 3, a 1, or a half a micron. What's going to matter is the amount you strop. So depending on the steel, depending on the heat treatment, will depend on how long you should strop for. I say try to strop as little as possible. That being said, if the heat treatment's a little finicky, or if the burr is not coming off very easily, then you need to do more stropping, right? More stropping, because it's gonna help. Practice trying to remove your burr on the stone. That's why I like to recommend getting an ultra fine stone of some sort. Doesn't matter what kind, whether it's a ceramic or anything. I don't care what it is. If it's 3000 grit and up, use that to remove your burr. It will help remove your burr much more cleaner. If you have a really, really finicky, like real bad one, you might want to use like a 1200 grit and then go to a ceramic or some sort of 3000. But the point of when you're done sharpening is only to clean off in between your micro serrations. Think about a serrated blade right now. In between each serration, or in between each point, which is the serration, there's going to be buildup of steel. You're trying to get the leather and the compound to go in between those and clean those out. Basically what you're doing. You might refine them a little bit, but your goal is not to polish it from there. If you want to polish with the stone and then finish on a strop. But you will have no problem at 1200 grit finishing on any one of those, because those are all finer than 1200 grit. You just don't want to strop on something coarser than the stone you stopped on. TS Prof has alpha stones back in stock. Bought mine a couple days ago. Yeah, I put a link up, actually. TS Prof's link's down in the description. I put a post up yesterday saying they were back in stock. Okay, so I have to grind this down a little bit. I might just grab I got my WORKSHARP I could do this with, which would go a lot faster. I might just grab that. Let me see how fast this is going to go. Now it's like I'm doing a chisel. So I'm trying to fix the tip, so I don't want to take the steel from the edge, even though I could. The problem is by the time I get rid of all that, that's a lot of steel, so that's a lot of life off my edge. So if I take it off this, I'm not taking life off my edge. So the knife will be basically virtually the exact same from the, like, as it would be if I only sharpen it one time. If I use my belt, though, which I have put away, shit, I would say that thing would go so much faster. Or, you know what? Even better. Check this out. We got a 140 here. This is an Atoma 140. It's not a brand new one, so it's not as aggressive as they are when they're brand new. But this is something you use when you want to remove a lot of steel quick. I do have, by the way, some Hapstone starts, which I do recommend for people if you need a 1x6 stone and you want to get the best 1x6 diamond plates, the best, not resin bonded stones, but as far as diamond plates goes, the Hapstone starts, in my opinion, are the absolute best. They're CBN, they last the longest, they're super aggressive, they cut very fast, and they're even more affordable than the Atomas, and they cut just as fast, if not faster. Whenever I have to do that, I like holding bare steel with black Sharpie. Works surprisingly. Yeah, a lot of people like to do the Sharpie trick or the permanent marker trick, which is just where you mark the edge so that you can see where your scratches are. I'm really good at identifying the scratches. I've never done the marker trick. I tested it out like when I was at beginning sharpening, but I never got into it. I'm going to start rounding that sucker. I think it might look better too. I think it might. That actually might be kind of cool. Just round it like this. Yeah, I never liked it because I've always thought that, and listen, man, it's probably better for a lot of people, but I get stubborn as hell, and I get this thing in me where, like, I feel like it's making me weaker, not weaker as a sharpener or anything, but just like where I'm not identifying the scratches as much as I should, and I should rely on identifying my scratch pattern, not seeing the marker removed. Does that make sense? But anybody should do it however they want. I stabbed it into something and I twisted, but it was literally like, it was 100% my fault. Like, this is such a thin dip. This is the exact opposite of a knife you want to pry with. And I stabbed it into something, and I wasn't thinking, because the thing I stabbed into wouldn't have broke the tip, but what was underneath wood, which was wood. So it stabbed into wood, and I just so happened to bend it when I was pulling it out. I didn't think that much went in, and it just so happened to went in a lot farther than I thought, and bang. We're almost done with this. Ooh. My Hogue Deco lost the edge surprisingly fast. Yeah, that'll happen with factory edges. Never judge a knife by its factory edge. And by the way, we have a test to talk about that happened to my knife design. We're going to talk about it in 1 second. An HRC test that somebody did where it tested very soft, or did it? We're going to talk about that. So, what the hell was I about to talk about? I forget now. What the hell was I about to talk about? I don't remember now. Oh yeah, the Hogue Deco or edges. Yeah, when you buy a knife, the factory edge technically, and I know if you're not good at sharpening, then if you try to sharpen it, it's not going to be as good as the factory edge. I get it, but technically, if you know how to sharpen, your factory edge is the worst edge your knife will ever see. And the reason why is because belt sharpened edges, which are what companies do, unless if you buy like a custom and it's done by Stone, but 99.999% of knives are done on a belt or a wheel. Now, a belt is never ever going to be as good as a stone. Stones make a superior edge. Now, also, belts run at high speeds, which can burn the steel. So what happens is it burns the edge. It's called a burnt edge. And a burnt edge is way more likely to go dull incredibly fast. So all you have to do is sharpen it a couple times. Sometimes one sharpening is all you need. But sharpening it a couple times will get you into good steel. Because the thinner the steel is, and how, depending how fast you're going with the belt, is the problem. Okay, we are rounding it really nicely. We are literally almost done. I just want to get a little bit more because I don't want to have to remove a ton of steel from the edge to match that. And we're so close. Which is better, diamond stones or Arkansas? Diamonds. All day diamonds. Arkansas can't hold a candle to diamonds. Arkansas are better in longevity. They'll last a lot longer. Unless if you have resin bonded diamonds, those will last you probably about this. It depends on the Arkansas. An Arkansas hard, a translucent will last forever. A resin bonded stone will damn near last you forever in many cases. It depends on the size and how much you sharpen and everything, but you get your money out of it, put it that way. Now, a diamond plate, the diamonds are only on the surface of the stone, so they will wear out, but they cut any steel. In Arkansas, can't cut any steel. In Arkansas, you should never use on high carbide steels. And then, so basically, any premium steel with a large amount of carbides, you wouldn't want to use in Arkansas with. You'd want to use diamonds. But so diamonds cut faster, the fastest. They have the best feedback, way better feedback, meaning like you can feel the stone cutting into your steel. And they cut any steel. All right. You're ruining the knife. No, I'm not. The knife had a broken tip. This is a normal thing. I've actually, I used to run a sharpening service. I used to do this as a service, but I'd use a belt for this. Like, not my stone, obviously. You can go watch all my videos. I've made knives look brand new. Brand spanking new. Like, literally, you wouldn't have even been able to tell anything happened. With a nice broken tip, too. Done it on a lot of them. You can go watch the videos if you want. This ain't ruining nothing. This is a budget beater. I have over 1,000 knives. If this $33 knife, me breaking the tip and needing to reprofile it, is damaging it, I shouldn't even be in the knives. This is a tool. So it's just a tool being a tool. Tools sometimes have to be fixed, repaired. It just is what it is. I could see if this was a collector piece or something. You could maybe debate that, but it'd still be debatable. Did you ever use wood instead of leather for finishing? Yes, I prefer leather, but wood does work as long as you put compound on it. So as long as you're using like stroppy stuff or some sort of emulsion, yeah, it works great. You just want to use a soft wood, like, you know, paint sticks. Those work good. Cut that edge off of the spine. What is the best grit / angle to use for XM18 hollow ground 20 CV? So if you're talking about a hollow grind that was done by Hinderer, that's a very shallow hollow. So it is a hollow, but it's slightly. 17 degrees is what I prefer on my Hinderers. I technically do 15, but I wouldn't encourage anybody else to do 15 unless if you are really, unless if you don't mind a big bevel, because your bevel is going to be big. With the hollow grind, it'll be a little bit smaller, but 17 degrees, I'm confident that is a sharp edge, a very, very sharp edge that is not too big to where it's going to shock you. So I don't get shocked by that, but some people do. Some people don't like the look of a big bevel, even though the big bevel means it's sharper. But there is a point of which it's abnormal. Like the blade shape, size, and everything doesn't match how big the bevel is. So you do want to match that to some degree. Does what you're doing damage stone? Oh, yeah. It's grinding off the diamonds, but that's why I have them. I got plenty of diamond plates. I mean, I could grab fucking 100 different diamond plates. I should be using something like this, though. These little throwaway things, like these little guys right here. Because I got a ton of like things like this. Like I got a bunch of diamond plates that I don't really use very often that I could be using instead of the ones I love the most. Like this. This is from DMD as well. This is a 150, but it'll be more aggressive than the 300. And this is still pretty fresh. This is only like 40, 50 bucks. Sometimes you can find it for less than that. But yes, this does hurt the stone. If it was a resin bonded diamond stone, it wouldn't really hurt it. But being just a regular diamond plate, the thing is, I want this to cut fast. Yes, I do have very aggressive resin bonded diamond stones that I could use, and maybe I should be, but whatever. Do you plan on doing a design for a more budget? Yeah. I got some in the works right now. I got budget knives in the works. I got a lot of stuff in the works, guys. Lots of stuff in the works, including budget knives. I got like a half and half coming where I'm going to try to price it as affordable as possible. Okay, so let's talk about that. The HRC test from CBRX. He did a bunch of testing. I think he did like 3 videos on my... I have one right here. This one's one I'm working on, but the FLN, okay? He did some testing on it, and I'll probably do a video addressing some of that, but in his test that he did, his HRC test, which is using a very unreliable HRC tester, the numbers came out very soft, like obnoxiously soft, like so soft that I would have to refund probably a lot of people their money. So I sent 3 to Brian, who has a real HRC tester, 4 knives that's calibrated and everything. It's factually true. Like, it's a calibrated HRC tester that's specifically 4 knives. And they came out at 63. I sent them 3. One came out at 62.9, one was 63.3, and the other one was 63 on the dot. So I'm very happy with the test results. I knew that from sharpening my knife. Like, I knew for a fact that mine was at least 63 because I've sharpened so much, I could feel it. Like, it felt so good on the stone. The edge is so fucking sharp. I mean, even this one right here, man, this is just, woo, that is sharp, boy. Like, that is hair whittling sharp, and you can't get that with soft steels. You can't get hair whittling edges like that with soft steels. I'm sorry. So but yeah, so like I said, it's not a reliable tester. Be careful with things like that. Like, not saying he's doing this, but like I said, I'll make a video of this because I do think I need to make a video addressing it because he has 3 videos on the knife. I don't agree with the types of testing he does. I love that stands out of the box. I love that he's being unique. I love that he's being different. I truly do. And I think that that's awesome. I think it's good that we have people trying to be different, right? I don't want to watch the same old shit. And I do think that there's possibly some benefits to it. It's just a lot of the tests, I see the problems with them. And like, by saying one knife fails and one knife passes doesn't make sense for the test, because it just doesn't. And then I seen other testing where he labeled something a fail, and I personally, and so would a lot of other people, say that was an absolute pass. Because just because, like, say a knife breaks, like a tip of a knife, that doesn't mean it failed. Like, yes, it broke, but it should have broke, right? There's times when that should happen. Like, there's times when you'd rather it break than bend, because if it bent, then that means it doesn't hold a fucking edge, right? Like, we have different hardnesses, different grades, different geometry. Toughness is usually from geometry. But anyways, like I said, I need to just make a full video addressing it, but I'm happy with the results from my knife design. So my knife design came out 63, which we advertised it 63 to 64 HRC. So if it's slightly under 63, like 62.5, that's still in the ballpark, but the majority of them should be between 63 and 64. And with the ones we've tested, they were all 63, which is exactly what you want. Getting below 62 is when it really falls behind. I recommend 63 to 64 because it's far enough away from 62 that you don't have to worry about it being under 62, as long as they're saying that it's 63, 64. Unless if they're lying. 5 bones. I'm on the edge. Thank you, man. Appreciate the bones. Good evening. I was suspicious of his testing, but I'm happy with mine. Good. I know somebody else, somebody sent him one of my knife designs too to test theirs, and theirs also tested soft. So it shows that his test, and I haven't tested theirs, but I'm gonna tell them. I had my partner send them a message to tell them if they want to send their knife in, I'll personally, or I'll have, not personally me, I'll have their knife personally tested, so they can get their exact results for their knife. Now, I think that shows that the tester that he's using is inconsistent across the board. That's my point. So, like, if it did two knives that both are on the same HRC, like soft HRC, when they're factually not, right? When they're factually 63 plus, then that shows that it's unreliable across the board, not just on that one. It wasn't a fluke on the one. Now, I did hear that those testers don't do well with thin geometry, at least, you know, that's to my understanding. So if that's the case, my knife is very thin. You know, I made it to cut, not to be a hard use knife. My knife was never intended to be a hard use knife. It's a workhorse cutter. It's a cutting tool. So, you know, its blade is thin and slicing. All right, we are pretty much ready to sharpen. I can get a little bit more. Man, I love my Offender. Yeah. And no one can change my mind. Fuck yeah. I love it. Yeah, dude, it is a badass knife, man. It is such a good knife. It's so fidget friendly, like just operational. Like it's so fidgety, so great. It's very, very comfortable in the hand. This is one I'm working on. It's I gotta take it apart and put it back together. It's a little loose right now. I was messing with it at Blade Show, and I gotta put it back together now. But this is a beautiful knife, man. They did a really good job on it. I'm super happy with the design and functionality wise, man. My goodness, that thing is like, it's so good. Like, I have found it difficult to even carry anything else. Look at that curve I got going. That looks great. I love that. So this is the way it used to be. That's the way it is now. More like a real worn club. What's up, Jared? What's up, Ryan? Oh, Ryan Mazzetti. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining. I can't wait for the inmate. I know. Hey, Henry, thank you for the 2 bones. What was the best thing you saw in Texas? Honestly, probably the Prince Customs. Prince Customs were fucking nice, man. They were really sharp. I really liked those. Riet had a couple bangers. Reich Knives had some bangers. I got a couple of them too. I got one of the Riets, and I got a couple of the Reichs. What else was really nice? Ooh, got to see the production version of the new FLN. That thing's dope. My knife design. My Offender arrived 2 days ago. Cannot be happier. Feels great in hand. Action is impeccable. Forms a great... damn it. I was reading that. Son of a bitch. The thing jumped. Now I don't know where the hell I was. Damn it. I was loving that one. All right, I gotta find it. There we go. Wait. The Offender is so much more comfortable in the hand than it looks. Yeah, it was designed for comfort in the hand. That's exactly what it was designed for. Okay, here we go. Feels great in hand. Action is impeccable. Forms a great burr that seems to slice off very easily. Yes, my burr came off incredibly easy. And that is a good indicator of a good heat treatment and a good, you know, hardness, good heat treatment, etc. So it's a great thing to have, and that's one thing I was very happy to see with all the sharpening I did, because I sharpened multiple of them, and every single one of them came out with just a redonkulous sharp. Like, I'm talking about like crispy sharp, and it makes you so happy inside when you can achieve that. A lot of people don't ever get to experience that because they don't get to experience a high HRC steel, a high hardness steel that's done well, that's got a good heat treatment. In many cases, they're sharpening steels that are on the softer side. From, even if they're reliable companies, they're just companies that run their shit on the softer side. So they don't ever get to experience that hard steel with really good edge stability. And then once you do get to experience that, the sharpness is like nothing else. Like people would argue. What's up, David? Thank you for being a Rockstead member for 26 months, man. Shout out to you. Did I send you a new knife, another knife? Or maybe you haven't been a Rockstead for the whole 26 months. Because it's got to be 12 months in a row. But I'm so proud of you that I have all, are you proud that I have all A's in all 7 of my AP classes? And the fact that I am the ASB president in my school. Sorry for bragging. You should brag about it, Phoenix girl. Good for you, Phoenix. Proud of you, girl. That's awesome. That is definitely awesome. I never won anything in school, so I think that's a special thing. You should cherish it. My first award was YouTube reaching 100,000 subscribers. Check it. Yo. Where's all the fly skimmies? What's up, brother? What was I about to talk about before that? I don't remember now. Damn it. Oh, yeah. Samurai swords, right? People, and this is just because of movies, myths, and legends, right? People think that like samurai swords were like super sharp, like just like the sharpest thing, right? They're cutting through 5 pigs, you know, it shows they can cut through 5 human bodies and all this shit. They weren't very sharp. They were tough. Their edges were thick and tough, because in combat, when your blades are smacking together like that, it has to be tough. It can't be thin and sharp, right? Another thing is their edge. If they made their edges extremely sharp, it makes a more fragile edge. Yes, it cuts better, but in combat, it's going to be more likely to take damage. Another thing, their steel was not hard enough. They did not have the hardness levels and the technology and the abilities that we have today, nor the steels that we have today. So their steels were, yes, the best of the time, but with all knives, all blades, all edged weapons, and all edged tools, we have made them from the best possible things that we could for that time period. And that time period was that, but not anymore. All right, so what I'm doing, this bevel looks great already. I already got a burr, but the tip, I got to get a little bit more on that spine. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I'm doing. So what I'm doing here is I have my stone, obviously, nice and flat. I'm going to grip my knife in a comfortable manner. I don't want it to be like, when you think of edge angle, don't even worry about the edge angle right now. Worry about comfort, because what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to get it across the stone, right? Without fatiguing, and be able to do it over and over and over the same exact way. So whichever angle I pick, I want it to be the same. One thing you can do is you can take your finger and you can use it as an indicator, but you have to match the exact same spot every single time. You can do that with this finger, you do that with this finger, you can do that with this finger, technically with your thumb. Doesn't matter. Or you can just do it by feel, right? Like I know that this is comfortable, so that's it. So when you're going across the stone, you can comfortably do it over and over and over. Now, what I'm doing is I'm locking my wrist. So whatever angle I do wind up picking, you just don't want to go too low. You don't want to go too high. Right there in the middle is a good spot. But not like directly in the middle of like this and this, but like, just not too high, not too low. Anyways, once you get that angle, lock your wrist, right? Whatever that looks like, even if it's a little bit kinked, doesn't matter. Just lock wherever place it's in, lock it. Now, try to literally leave that position locked with your hand, your wrist, and your forearm. As you go across the stone, you're going to have to go with the shape of the blade. The shape of the blade is only going to be determined by your elbow. So you lift your elbow in this case, because this has a higher tip than the flat side. So in order for me to get the tip, I have to watch my elbow, lift my elbow. See the blade? Lift my elbow, right? If I move my wrist, what does it do? It messes with my edge angle. So I lock that in, and as I'm coming across the stone, I just lift my elbow to get to the tip. Not very high, because this doesn't have much belly. Depending on the belly will depend on how much. But it allows you to do it over and over without having to worry. So like right now, bam, I went across the stone. Now I want to go back to the beginning stone. I could stay on the stone, if that helps you, and don't grind your thumb into the plate. Just let it float or lift it off and just use it as an indicator, right? But a lot of times I just let it float. But you could go back and forth like this. Of course you could do that. But you could also go across, lift up, just don't move your wrist. Now I'm just basically lifting up my shoulder and my body, and then I'm leaning back, and I'll set it down. Bam. I'm right back there to the same angle because my wrist did not move. It doesn't matter if I lift up with this, right? As long as this is not moving. So that's how you lock in, and that's how you can repeat the same angle over and over and over and get a beautiful flat bevel like that. That's a nice flat bevel. You should bright. Let me see your videos. You sound bright. Let me see your videos. What are we talking about? You talking to me? You got my videos. They're right here on YouTube. But he's coked to the gills. I'm sorry, I don't do cocaine. People must not really understand cocaine very well because you hear that all the time. They think that that cocaine is something you would want to do and go live. Like that would be, I would never, ever, ever fucking go live and do cocaine. Just like I would never go to Blade show on cocaine. That's stupid. Like anybody who's done cocaine knows like that it would be the most uncomfortable feeling. You wouldn't want to talk to people, and you have 1,000 people talking to you and wanting to see you, wanting to hang out. You wouldn't want to. And even if you started out wanting to, it would wind up getting grimy and this and that, and then you're wanting another line, and how do you go doing, you know, like that's how cocaine goes. Cocaine needs to be done in a party setting with everybody else is doing cocaine, or at least just the you know, your crew or whatever, because you're going to have to do lines constantly. It's not something that lasts more than fucking 15-20 minutes, you know, maybe 30 minutes, but you're wanting another line every 30 minutes, at longest an hour. So, yeah, that's the dumbest thing ever. But, you know, people just don't know what they're talking about, and they just guess things. Like somebody has high energy, they instantly relate it to cocaine. It's, to me, that's just crazy. But, and if you ever went to a construction site or something, everybody's like me. They're all fucking crazy and, you know, yelling, cussing, and, you know, shit like that. Just a normal thing. But not everybody gets out. Not everybody sees the world. Your experience. I am. Yes, I am. But yeah, even laughing. Laughing's not easy to do on cocaine. Some people can, some people can't. But some people absolutely can't. Like you can't get them to laugh to save their life. When I was younger, we were doing a lot of partying, and I started getting upset because we went from having like the funnest and best parties ever to now like it not being fun anymore, and people kind of standing around like, you know, just waiting for another line, looking out the windows and shit like that. And I was like, no more. I said, no, well, I didn't mean like no more. I meant like no more until like the party's already going, everything's going great. Then yeah, but we're not going to start the party off like that. Start the party off like that, the party's going to be shitty. Nobody's going to be talking. Nobody's going to be hanging out. Everybody's just going to be blah. And I did that because I wound up telling somebody, I was like, smile. I was like, laugh. And they couldn't do it. And I was like, that's why we're not doing it. That's why we're not allowing it no more. When we can laugh and have a good time, and later on when people are drinking and stuff, whatever, then bust it out. But don't bust it out before, you know, you're having already a great time. Hey, Jared, saw some of the knife drawing about the HRC. Thanks for always taking the high road. You're definitely winning people over. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to have to make a video addressing it, though, because, you know, now that we have test results to prove that they're not accurate, I have to, because I don't know who's going to see that and who's not. And I don't need that, because that will run around the damn knife community for a year. And I need to hit it on the head now. Thank God we have somebody like Brian in the knife community that can do HRC tests for me every once in a while. And proof without a shadow of a doubt, because it's a legit tester that's, you know, calibrated and everything. So shout out to Brian from Transparent Knives. What a great dude. I tried to send Neves some knives for sharpening. He told me he was too busy. Yeah, Jack, I just can't run the service anymore. So I ran a sharpening service for a long time. But I can't do it anymore because it just doesn't make sense. I have way too much going on and I would have to charge way too much. And I'm just not willing to charge people that much. I've had people willing to pay that much and trying to pay me that much, and I don't feel right doing it. And it's I would take way too long. I would have your knives for way too long. Where's the offender hardware? When's the offender hardware coming in? A couple weeks. So we just put in the last order because we waited for we were waiting for people to basically finish pre-ordering. People are pretty much, they're not done pre-ordering, but we're just going to order a few extra. So they're already mostly made. Like they've been making them already for the past couple weeks. So we've been just giving them numbers as it's been going on. So they're probably going to ship them, I don't know, probably next week or two. And then it takes about a week to get here. You know, give or take. Don't quote me exact, but it won't be that long at all. All right, so I'm doing this side again because technically I reprofiled this side and this side, but we're going to do it over one more time because I'm going to round over the tip one more time on a different stone. Let me grab a more aggressive stone. Thanks for the approval of my edge on the misdemeanor in Texas. Was ready to blame you if not, since I've watched all your videos. Yeah, your edge was great. You know, and it's not like every single person has the best edges. Now, I'm not talking shit about anybody's edge. A lot of people have really nice edges. But I'm going to grab this guy. So this is a metal bonded CBN stone. This will be very aggressive and I won't have to worry about it damaging my stone or anything. But yeah, man, it's good to see, man. I love to see results that are really, really nice and that they're on point. They look good. So good for you, man. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. And it only gets better. Like once you get sharpening really down, man, it only gets better. You know, speaking about cocaine, you know what's funny? When I was at Marine X's, so in Texas, and my Kara's grandparents lived there, right? So they were already saying like, I forget what, there was some pollen out, I don't know, whatever down in Texas, which makes people have allergies really bad. I don't believe in allergies, but I wound up getting some allergies. You know, it's kind of like not believing in ghosts and still seeing a ghost. It's kind of like that, you know, but I still don't believe in them, but you know, it happened. But anyway, so don't believe in allergies, but I wound up getting allergies down there and I had to blow my nose like constantly. And I was on that damn podcast with Marine X and I fucking knew it. I knew it. Like if I fucking blow my nose, and you think like that on a video, if I blow my nose, everybody's like, you're on cocaine. And it's like a motherfucker can't just blow it. Like when you're talking and shit, man, like things happen, man. You know, like what are you going to do when you're on camera? As much as somebody like me, you're going to catch, you know, weird things that people have to do, you know? Yes, baby.
Don't you think it's inevitably more crazy than something that literally you say doesn't exist? I think that's more psycho.
That is crazy, but yeah, I'm not saying I agree with the thing. I'm just saying that's what they're called. But yeah, it just doesn't, nothing.
That didn't save your point. And we're not gonna gloss over that. Like,
it sounded great though.
It did not.
I don't believe in. I don't. You know, somebody says I don't believe in bullets with my name on it. Good luck. That's hilarious.
Sounds like you just have a case of denial that you're putting a really pretty bow on and saying I don't believe it.
Well, I'm saying I've said it my entire life. My entire life. I like people like, you think you got allergies? I'm like, no, I don't get allergies, right? I'm just fucking allergies, right? But the past few months, like I've got allergies, to some extent, but not a big deal. But when we got down in Texas, man, I felt it right away. And you know it when you're like, because I literally had to run around. People probably didn't see this, maybe people did. I ran around with tissues in my pocket, and I had to, like, every 20-30 minutes I had to go around the corner and blow my fucking nose. And it sucks, man, because you know everybody's there, everybody's watching, but what can you do? You're not gonna run around with a runny nose.
Right. Just say you don't believe in runny noses.
I don't believe in noses. just snot rocket.
Ew, what the hell? What? Nothing.
I don't believe in snot rockets.
Nothing. You didn't see anything because it's not there.
Nothing's there because I don't believe it. How can I sharpen this 2 to 3 inch scythe? It looks like the thing the Grim Reaper has, but it's tiny.
A scythe.
Yeah. You want to get a round diamond stone? You can get a round. I got one sitting right over there. Well, my other diamond one, I don't know. It's somewhere right here. But this is a ceramic. You want to get a diamond and a ceramic. So grab the diamond rod, about 1200 grit, and that's what you're going to want to use. Because when you have a scythe, like the knife I'm carrying right now, right? See how that has that curvature? I can use a skinny stone on this because it's longer, but if this curve was like wham, like that, I would need a round stone. Attorney's here. What's up, attorney? Wait, read that one. Do another fucking coked up one. Jeez Louise, man. How do I sharpen the offender? I have a full video on the offender on not only how to sharpen, well, I did like basically like how to sharpen a tanto. So if you just need to sharpen a tanto, go watch that video, but also how to specifically sharpen a recurve tanto like the offender. So go watch that video. I did it on a fixed angled system. I did do a live where I sharpened freehand. If you want to see that, I can do another one of those, but fixed angle is what most people are going to have and most people are going to use for something like that. So that's the video I did, but I did show even in that video how to do it freehand. Sorry guys, we're almost done with this, man. I know this tip took a little while. Normally I would have pulled out the belt. It took 30 seconds. It'd have been done, but we didn't. We'll be all right. Fuck it. If the tip isn't like the pokiest, I'm not that worried about it. I can get it on the next sharpening if I need to. All right, so now we're going back to the 300 grit again. We're gonna do the same thing. Lock the wrist, get a nice comfortable grip. Make sure the edge is on the stone. We can measure it with our thumb if we want, but the point is we want to find the angle we want, lock our wrist in place, and as we go across the stone, use our elbow to do the shape, right? Hips, shoulders, elbows, nothing else. No wrist. So that way we can go from this and set it right back down without worrying about it moving angle or changing edge angle. Going across the stone, lift till you get to the tip, pick it up, bring it back, drop back down. That was beautiful, man. We already got a nice burr. You broke the tip, I broke the tip. And so I had to repair it, and now we are repairing the edge. So I'm going to do this side now. Now with this side, same thing. You want to try to match it, and that's why doing the finger measurement trick does work. You can also get a little angle, guys, to set on the stone. I've shown that in many videos. I do have a beginner's tutorial, and if you guys want close-up, great details and very scientific shit, watch my channel, because I have a sharpening playlist that shows things a lot better when it's not live. You know, you can edit shit. So watch like my beginner tutorial or any one of my knife sharpening videos. I have a ton of them and tons of every single blade shape, every single type of knife, every single type of stone. I recommend diamonds though. But with this, like if I measured with this, I can measure that over to this finger, and now I can use this finger like this if I need to have a measurement of how high my spine is off the stone to have the exact angle. But I know where I'm at, so I'm just going to get my comfortable grip, which is going to be the most important, is just me being comfortable on the stone. And I'm going to do the same thing. Lock my wrist. And in order to get the blade shape, I'm going to do the lifting of my elbow. So now when I lift up, I can set right back down. And I'm only lifting my elbow. I'm trying to lock my wrist as much as possible with no movement whatsoever. I've been freehanding sharpening for years, thanks to Jared. I still use an angle guide every time. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I sometimes still do. Like, you know, just because there's times where, man, it's like you don't even have to think about it, and they do work really well. Man, this thing went really quick. So the 300 grit, is it a 300? I don't know. I think it's more like a 400, to be honest. The problem I have, I know I've been using it a lot, but this already feels finer than the 1000 already. Now that's going to happen because technically diamond plates are supposed to come more aggressive than they are. Meaning, like, this is a 140. When it showed up, it was probably like an 80, and it broke into a 140. But then it'll be a 140 for quite some time, but eventually it'll become a 300, and it'll just get weaker and weaker and weaker until eventually it just wears out. This 300 feels like it showed up as a 300, so after it breaks in like it is right now, now it's like a 400. So that's not very nice to me. I don't like that. And not saying that this is a bad plate. I'm just saying that that's one downfall in my opinion. And I don't, maybe this works better for chisels. I don't know. I mean, I've sharpened chisels before, but I'm not like sharpening chisels every day. But the grooves that are in the stone, that's diamonds missing. So to me, that's a negative. So I prefer it to be like this, where there's no grooves. It's all diamonds. Because I feel like you rip me off on diamonds over here. You know what I mean? It's like getting a diamond bracelet with half the diamonds gone. So, I want those diamonds, because they make it cut faster and last longer. And I can sure go to sleep with that sound. I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. I used to do that all the time. I used to literally, and I still do sometimes, if like I want to fall asleep, I'll throw on a sharpening video or just throw on some sharpening content, and that sound will put me right to sleep. It's great ASMR. I thought about doing some ASMR sharpening videos. Why are older knives easier to sharpen than the newer stuff? I don't know what you mean by that. Older knives are softer. That's one thing. More simple steels. We have better steels now. Anytime you raise the wear resistance in a steel, it's going to take a little longer to sharpen. Now, technically, I think they're easier. And you could argue that they take longer because of the wear resistance. But as far as burr removal, sharpness, how often you have to sharpen, ease of maintenance, honing, stropping, and all that, that is way better than it used to be, because we have better edge stability, we have better heat treatments, we know a lot more about steels than we used to. But yes, soft steels will sharpen up much faster, but I always use this as a reference. It doesn't matter how fast it sharpens up if the results are not as good. For an example, I can sharpen a crayon way faster than I can sharpen a stick, right? But what are the results like? And that's because of hardness. The crayon is soft. So yes, you can sharpen it. It'll get a point. It'll get, an edge, but it's a soft edge and it's not very stable. A stick is harder. So it allows you to have, why is it jumping? So it allows it to have more stability out to the apex. Might take a little longer, but it'll be better results. Why is this jumping? There we go. I think. Yeah. So yeah, the 1000, I don't know if it's probably gonna break in finer. Well, they always break in finer, but to me, this did feel, I guess it feels like a 1000, but it felt more aggressive than the 300 though, but that's just because it's fresh. It needs to break in. I like diamond plates that last a very long time. I found the two longest lasting diamond plates of all, besides bonded stones, right? These obviously last like a lifetime. Diamond plates, which are far more affordable, because these have, you guys don't realize how much diamond is in this. This is an incredible amount of diamond. Now, these are just on the surface. But the longest lasting ones are Atomas. You can find them at Neve Knife Co. And they come with replaceable sheets. So this is a little sheet that you can sticker on the back of it. So I recommend only getting 2 of the plates and then get 2 sheets of the other grits that you didn't get the plate in, and then just slap this on the plate you did get on the opposite side, because one side won't have one. And then Hapstone starts. As far as 1 inch by 6 inch stones, the Hapstone starts are the best. CBNs. Those are the absolute best. If they made those in 3x8s, I'd be going crazy over them, but they don't. I find it much easier to sharpen the knife away from one after the other side. You know, everybody has a dominant side. So I found that through the years, mine's changed. So some years, this way is my dominant. And then other years, this way is my dominant. Right now, it's this way. It's just you get a dominant side. It's not that big of a deal. I am done with this. I just need to, we're going to sharpen more stuff, but my tip is not the keenest. Like I could definitely, it's got a little debris on it. I could definitely make it sharper. Obviously, you can see that. I might just get that on the next sharpening. I'm not that worried about it too much. It still can penetrate. I can still use it as a utility cutter. And then, you know, after it rounds off, I can just curve this a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the burr. We're going to see how this 1000 grit stone did. The 300, 1000 on a new stone that we've never tested before. So now we're going to remove the burr. But what are we going to remove the burr on? I'm going to grab a ceramic. This is a Spyderco ceramic ultra fine. So we're going to take this puppy and we are going to clamp it in here like this. I'm going to get a little bit of my snake oil and spray it on there. Rub it down a little bit. And now we're going to use this as my burr removal stone. So what I'm going to do, and I recommend everybody do this. I prefer a 3000 grit and up. 3000 grit, 5000 grit, perfectly fine. 4000 grit, as long as it's 3000 up. Even a 2500 is going to be better than a toothy stone or a lower grit stone. We stopped down to 1000, right? I could remove my burr on this. Absolutely, I can. But I found that my results are much better if I remove it on a finer stone. So yes, I could remove it on that, but I'm going to do it on this, and I would do it the exact same way either way. If I did it on that stone or this stone, I would do it just like this. I would do edge, trailing pass. My burr's on this side, right? We finished on this side. My burr's on this side. I'm going to flip it over like that. Then I'm going to do this side. And I'm going to go back and forth very gently, no pressure. I'm not applying any pressure because my goal is only to snag the burr. The burr is a metal wire that when I'm sharpening one side, it folds over to the other side, just like this. It's just a metal wire hanging over. So what I'm doing is I'm hitting the stone and pulling it over to this side, and then going to this side and pulling it over until it snaps. It's basically like bending a paper clip back and forth until it snaps off. You're doing the same concept. After you do some of these stropping passes, then you do a couple forward passes. Very gentle still, barely any pressure. If the burr is giving you, I got burr all over this thing. That burr came off actually pretty easily. If the burr is giving you issues, you can add a little bit more pressure, but it's not, you don't want to add pressure if you don't have to, because you don't want to change the grit, right? Like I could go on this stone and literally sharpen on this stone and finish on this stone, which would give me a glossy mirror polished finish, especially, you know, going from the 1000 to this, because this is like a 3 to 5000. However, we're doing D2. D2, while it will take a mirror polished edge just fine, it doesn't like a mirror polished edge as far as it, I'm just rounding these edges off because they're a little snaggy. It doesn't like it as far as holding the bite long term, meaning like after you start using your knife, the edge will lose its bite, which is one of the most important things to having a good edge is sharpness and bite. If it loses the bite, then it's going to slip out of cuts. Burr removal is so key to the laser beam. Yes, absolutely. And we got a pretty good edge right here. Now we're going to grab a 0.5 micron strop with stroppy stuff. This is my favorite stroppy compound. stroppy stuff, and this stuff is phenomenal. It's a diamond emulsion, and it's got a high concentration in it, and because it has a high concentration, it works so much better than everything else. Now we don't want, oh yeah, that's very sticky. We don't want to do a ton of stropping unless if we have a pesky burr that won't come off. Our goal is to only clean off the microscopic serrations that are on the edge and make them clean. Like I said, think about a real serrated blade. Just think about a serrated blade, and in between each serration, there's debris. You're trying to clean that debris out of the serration. Look at that. Thin geometry knives, man, they cut, don't they? And yes, it is my edge being this damn sharp, but it's all, that's, if you guys know about cutting, like, or know about like edges, that is crazy sharp to be able to do that. That's a hair whittling edge. Now the thing is that yes, the edge is why it's so sharp, but because the geometry is so thin, it allows it to be even sharper. Man, it's got a lot of bite. That is a great edge. This is, I gotta say, this is a great knife for 33, 35 bucks. Crossbar lock, nice strong locking system, very smooth, great reverse flicking or thumb flicking action, or you can do the gravity flip. Great blade shape, great ergonomics, great size, very lightweight, and it's super slicey. This is a great knife. And from my experience, they did not do a bad job with that D2. That's some good D2. That particular one. I did sharpen this one, the VG10. They did a good job on this one too. Companies are just getting better with the D2 now. You know, when they first started, man, they all sucked at it. Every single company, man, they were doing horrible. They were getting horrible results. Hey, Jared, curious question. Can I get a hold of you to possibly send you a few knives of mine to sharpen? No, Jacob, I stopped doing a sharpening service. I have friends that do a service. If you want me to hook you up with them, you can contact me and I can send you their way. But no, I can't, because I'd have to charge too much and I would have your knives for too long, and it's not appropriate. I used to run a service, but I have too much going on right now for me to make it make sense. Kyle Cooley, there you go. Todd just put a link right there to Kyle Cooley. He can hook you up. You can, there's a few other people too. On a $30 knife, it weighs, what? On a $30 knife, it weighs a breath. Yeah, that's true. This thing is like nothing. Like, it's so light. This is the tack ray. It's linked down in the description if you want to check it out. I have it linked down there in the description. I also have the DMD we used. Jared, sell me a misdemeanor soon. But yeah, this is a tack right. Links down in the description to that. I don't have everything we're going to fuck around with here. Link down in the description. You'll find this one too if you just click on this one and just type in tack right. You'll find this one. Pretty much that link to this one. If you just go to the search bar after clicking on that one, you can click in, type in whatever you want, and you'll find this shit. I'll tell you. And then I have all my other links down there. Thoughts on Spyderco's Magna Cut. At the time when I tested Spyderco's Magna Cut, it was the best Magna Cut at the time that I had tried that was not custom. It's been a little while since I've tested it. Since then, I've tested dozens of knives in Magna Cut that were very well done. Some were shit. Spyderco usually does a good job on all their steels. They're one of the premium companies that are production that you can get a good heat treated steel from. Because a lot of production companies are not going to give you the best. This is, that new Swift in M4. We could sharpen this. It does have a nice factory edge though. Sometimes, you know, I do it just because I want to, but, I was curious how they're doing this steel. Man, this thing has some thwack to it. You guys hear that? It is so snappy. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? I did have this Sen cut I thought about doing because it has big belly. I do have a fixed angle system here we could sharpen with too. This is a great budget knife. 35, 45 bucks, maybe 45. So Sencut, in my opinion, Sencut and Civivi are going to do the best overall, right? Overall, the best budget knives. If you're looking for a good quality knife that's not going to break the bank, that's actually good quality, good steel, good geometry, and that's another thing, good geometry, right? They have good cutting edges. Like this is a hollow grind. So when you sharpen this, it's not going to take a long time to sharpen, right? Like something that's thick, people don't realize sometimes when they get a pocket knife, like they'll buy like a $5-10 pocket knife, and they don't realize like the thing's 35, 40 thousandths behind the edge, meaning it's like 10 times as thick as this. Maybe not 10, but like a lot thicker. So it's going to take you a lot longer to sharpen. The thicker it is, the longer it's going to take. And people will think, man, it's the steel or whatever. In many cases it might be, but also sometimes it's just the geometry. You better pack a lunch because you're going to be there for a long time sharpening that. What stone should we use? We got the stones from USA Market. These are from PD Tools, USA Market, link down in the description. If you're in the UK, I have a UK link down there too. They do have them in stock. So if you're anywhere in the UK, order from my UK link. It's right under the USA Market link. But I'll show you guys the belly. How do you do the belly? Because remember, this one was done by the elbow, right? Which is how we're going to do the belly too. But if you notice, we didn't have to raise it up much, right? It was just a little, right? When you're doing something with a bigger belly, which this isn't a huge belly, you can still get to the tip, but it's a decent amount. I am going to have to, I'm going to pull this forward so you guys can see my elbow. Maybe. When you're pulling it across, you can just raise, see how high I'm raising it now? All the way to the tip. Pull this back. See? And now I'm hitting the tip. So now all I got to do is keep my wrist locked, lift up, drop my elbow, set it back down. I'm still at the same angle. As long as I don't move my damn wrist, I'm at the same angle. Sometimes you might feel like when you get to too much of a belly, you might have to go like that. That's okay. Just kind of memorize how much you use if you can avoid it. When you sharpen on a TS Prof K03, that's what we have actually sitting right there. How do you deal with knives that have non-removable thumb studs that are in the way? Typically, I will remove them, but if they're not removable, I will freehand sharpen them, or make sure you have the center clamp like mine. See how mine's got the center clamp? I don't have the double clamp. This is another reason why I recommend getting the center clamp, because you can go beyond past it. Now, another thing is using use Captain tape to cover them, because Captain tape is wear resistant and it works well. K-A-P-T-O-N, Captain. I got it spelt right there. Captain tape. Get some of that, but you got to use a high edge angle sometimes. So you might want to sharpen it 17 degrees, but you might not be able to. If those are in the way, you might have to go to like a 22 degree, which isn't a big deal. But that's why I prefer removable studs, you know, and them to not be in the cut that path. Show the 14C28N some love. This is 9CR. What do we have in 14C right here? You know what? I actually do have some knives in 14C right here. I got probably a bunch of fucking knives. Here we go. All right, we want to show some 14C some love. What were these? I don't think I've shown these on the channel yet. Oh yeah, this is kind of like the Nightshade. This is in 14C, but we haven't shown that on the channel yet. Sneak peek. I do have. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this too. I'll show you guys that here in 1 second. Where the fuck did I put that? Oh, there they are. Okay, so here are some other budget knives. Very affordable knives. You guys know I show a lot of expensive knives, but I also show a lot of budget knives. These are in 14C28N. This is Hot Knives. I just did a video on them the other day, so if you want to find this, just go watch the video. I recently posted it, and it'll be easy to find. But this is one of the knives. There's also this one. Sorry if you guys can hear Kara in the background. She likes to yell in her video games. And we have this guy. Beautiful knives. This is very comfortable in the hand. They're both in 14C28M. 14C is a great steel from budget companies because it's easy for them to heat treat. So some steels, while they might be great steels, they're not great for production. Meaning mass-produced knives that are mass-produced by the thousands. They're not great for that. So you want to get those particular steels in small batches to get the best out of them. 14C was literally designed and developed for mass produce. So it's just fine with mass produce. They can get it to good HRCs. They can get it consistent and so on. This came from, I just want to show you guys this really quick, MarineX. So you can go and find him on YouTube. Me and him did a podcast the other day. Go and watch that podcast. We talked about a bunch of stories. I told a story about how this girl grabbed a gun from me and pointed it at me. I told a few other stories. It was a good time. Good time. Like I always say, man, it always gets juicy right at the end, right when things start shutting down. But he sent me home with one of these trays. It's super lightweight, but it is wood. And this is Go Pound Sand. And MarineX's logo right there. Awesome, awesome dude. So I'm going to be putting that somewhere to put your EDC. It's got a little spot for a phone cord. And it's really cool. So shout out to MarineX. Go and check out his YouTube channel. Give him some love. And check out his store. Bryant with the 5 bones. Man, thank you for the 5 bones. I appreciate it. How do I get my QSP Penguin to stop sticking? Can't flick it by the studs. Have to pinch the blade to open. It's S35 carbon fiber titanium. To stop sticking. Is it sticking in the closed position or the open position? Because I thought you meant the lock was sticking. But now you're saying you have to pinch the blade to open it. So that means you either one, it sounds like your pivot's too tight. Try loosening the pivot. Sometimes did you take your knife apart? Because if you took your knife apart, you might not have put a washer in or something. That happens sometimes, and then it's very uneven, and you just lost the washer. So there's lots of little reasons that it could be. Oh, I've reprofiled lots of Civivis. I've got tons of sharpening Civivis. Civivis are my #1 recommendation for learning to sharpen because they have thin geometry knives just like these. That are affordable with good heat treatments. This is 14C28M, and it has a very thin edge, both of these. Just look at how thin the blades are. I mean, these are very thin blades. They're like 87 thousandths or something. Super duper thin. Then they have a very, very thin edge. So we are going to sharpen on this. And Beef Stick with the 5 bones. Super Steel Steve finally admitted that he's a booty chaser on Power Bottom Street. Thank you for the 5 bones. I appreciate it, Beef Stick. The rolling tray. Yeah. That's what me and him did when I was there. We smoked a couple cigars, had a little whiskey. It was a good time. Good time. Great time. Great cigars he had, man. I Googled best knives under 50 and got 2 Civivi knives and 11 bows. Okay, so one, Kurt, you got lucky. But don't Google knife stuff. Watch videos. Watch a content creator that works with knives or uses knives like my own or somebody else's, because we test everything out there. We get to handle everything. Google's going to, like that people used to Google that and the worst knife in the world used to pop up, just FYI. So be careful Googling anything about anything about knives. But yeah, watch videos. Videos are going to be much better because also it's best for what? Like best for what price range? Because budget's a wide range. You could say the cheapest best knife, right? The cheapest best knife, but the cheapest best knife might actually still be a piece of shit. Civivi is a good one though. But also if you're looking for a hard use knife, Civivi wouldn't be it, right? So if you're looking for, I want a construction knife. I want a knife that I can be tough on. It's for the cheapest amount. Well, then that would be a different thing. But yes, Civivi's a great one for budget knives. They're my favorite budget company, or at least one of them, if not my favorite. They probably are my favorite, to be honest. All right, so This one, I need to condition this one a little bit. The diamonds in the middle of the stone are like wearing out. This one was kind of a prototype stone. I need to get some of the new ones. I might just switch over to the diamond plate because I don't feel like doing this right now. What are the best ones under 500? Super Steve will sell me, but also keep the knife. All right, man. You don't have to bring this shit in here. If you want to ask me some questions, you can ask me some questions about how I feel about it. But you don't have to sit there and dog on my boy. We all fuck up, man. We all make mistakes. I ain't one to judge anybody on fucking up, man. I've fucked up plenty, and I've had to pay my dues. So maybe it was time to get humbled. You know, sometimes it's good to get humbled, right? We don't get to choose when we're going to get humbled, and you know, sometimes I think it's a blessing for us to get humbled. So maybe that's what happened. But yeah, thoughts on hot steel knives. I mean, I've only had them for a couple days. I did a video on it. You can go watch my video, and I give you my take on these knives. They are good. I'll say that. They feel like good quality for the money. They're $50. They do have inset deep carry clips, or at least this one does. I don't think this one's inset, was it? No, this one's not inset. But they're good. Good action, good ergos, very lightweight. They're not hard use knives though. These are slicers, so think of it as a great pocket. I like slicers though, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I love hard use knives too. I have tons of them. I probably have an equal amount of both. But slicey knives, I mean, knives are made for cutting, right? So you'd rather it cut better than not. Thick knives drag, their edges go duller faster. They don't sharpen as easily. There's a lot of negatives to it. There's benefits in toughness, but unless if you're not hitting things with your edge, then you're not really worried about toughness. But beef stick, that would be the Neve Knife Co. offender. Shameless plug. All right, let me grab this diamond plate really quick. This is the Atoma. I could use that other diamond plate again, the same one we were using, but then this time we can polish the edge on the ceramic. How about that? That's what we'll do. We'll try. Let's see how it goes. So we're going to use this one again because I want to see how these things do break in. So again, when we're going across the stone, we're going across and we're lifting our elbow to get to the tip, because remember, this one has a little bit of belly. This one has belly too. Yeah, this one. Yeah, they both have. Let me see the blades next to each other. Yeah, their tips basically land in the same place. So these are going to work very, very similar to one another. This would be a great hunting knife. You know, if you lost it or it got broke, it wouldn't matter. You're not out that much money. That's my point. Like, it might matter. $50 is a lot of money to a lot of people. And depending on where you're at and what you're going through, it might be, you know, a little much to lose. But I always found that when you spend a little bit more on a knife, you take care of it better. Like, all the knives, like on the job sites in construction that I've lost, broke, got stolen, they weren't like, they didn't mean that much to me, right? But once I got to a knife that meant something to me, it was a lot different. I constantly checked for it, constantly looked for it, constantly made sure it went back in my pocket. I took care of it better, sharpened it, and so on. Hi, CJ. Did me or Chase get any new customs at Blade Show, Texas to sell on your website? No, we have a couple. We have a couple already. To be honest, without getting into a bunch of drama, Todd Begg fucked over my buddy Chase. And, you know, it sucks. You know, I never really knew the guy, but when I first joined the knife community, he was a very well-known maker. But he's, you know, done some negative things to quite a few people now, and not just my partner. But that kind of left a sour taste in my partner's mouth with custom work. But we still have a couple custom knives that we would sell. The only custom knives we're getting into right now are fixed blades. Mazzetti knives. I got some designs that are going to start happening with him. He's going to start making them, and you know, shit like that. But we We're mostly doing production right now, but we do have some USA stuff coming at some point. Wait, any recent YouTubers collab blade that you dig? Hold on, any recent YouTubers collab blade that you dig? What does that mean? Justin, with the 2 bones, what does that mean? Do you mean like any knives? Do I like them? Is that what you're asking me? Or collaborations on a knife? What's a good knife for under $100 to carry on me? So man, when you ask that question, thank you for the 5 bones. When you ask that question, the thing is you got to give me some feedback, like where you're at, what size knife you can carry, because depending on the state, you know, it'd be different things. Are you looking for a tough use knife? Are you looking for a slicey knife, light duty knife, lightweight knife, but slicey, just, you know, a reliable tool? So I'm going to give you just an all around answer. The knives from Civivi, like the Civivi Vision, the Vision FG. Go watch my full review on that. That's about $80, and that is a very, 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 very reliable knife. And it's a one knife where the budget knife beat the premium. It didn't beat it in the edge retention test as it should. And if you watch the video, I do edge retention tests. I do everything. I do full testing, abuse tests, everything. I also did the same type of video on 3 Civivi Cubits, which are also really good. That's about $65. But the Civivi Vision FG is a great knife to get for under $100. Another one would be the Kaiser Drop Bear. That's a really good one. Well, actually, you know what? That one might be a little over 100. No, there's some under 100 ones. No, so I'm sorry. There are some now. They have thinner ones. So yeah, the Kaiser Drop Bear, the Civivi what the fuck is the name? Sentinel Strike. The Civivi Sentinel Strike. Get the second version. It's really good. Thoughts on Herman Vespertillo versus Cohen? So you know what? I'm waiting on my Vespertillo right now. I got something behind me that you guys will be seeing very soon from Herman, but it's not a Vespertillo, but I do have a Vespertillo coming. So I don't know. I've tried the GAVOL, but I never tried the Vespertillo. Coming soon. Which YouTuber's collaboration with an OEM has your interest, if any? None, really. But I don't know. I never really thought about it. I would. Maybe. It's just tough because you're talking about 2 different designs going into one. Right, so you could butt heads there, and even if you are both on the same ballpark, I would say it would have to make it worth it. It would have to be somebody who has a decent following, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Marine X, I would love to do something with. Metal Complex, I wouldn't mind doing something with. Anybody really, I don't care. I never really thought about it. Because right now I'm designing all my own stuff and I got a lot of cool stuff. I think I need to put my own mark in first. Once I've really hammered the nail in with my own designs, because I have some badass stuff coming, guys, like some raw business stuff. So same thing, pinch grip, nice and comfortable. Lay it on the angle that we want. Bring it across the stone, lift elbow to get to the tip. Use your finger at the tip so that you know you get to the tip. You'll feel your finger touch, you know, because basically I'm just like right there. So as soon as the tip touches, my finger touches, right? Same thing. Then lock your wrist. Don't let your wrist flex or move. If you do flex it or move it, try to do it ever so gently and put it right back to where it was. It might feel awkward at first. But once you get this muscle memory down, you won't even have to try anymore. It'll just be a natural thing. It's like riding a bike, but you have to learn how to ride first, right? And once you do, though, it feels unnatural to do it any other way. Like once you learn how to hold your angle really well, and if you do this trick, I'm telling you guys, you'll learn it fast. The problem is, it's just like me. I never even knew that trick. Nobody ever said that. I was the first person to ever say that to my knowledge. And I sat there trying to hold an angle, and I'm watching all these people, and I thought I maybe had to fluctuate my wrist to make sure I kept it on. I thought everything in the world, so I tried everything in the world, and it just left the rounded edges, convex edges, some good edges, but just not like the flattest bevels or the crispiest edges. But then once I started figuring out the skill that I need to teach people, I got even better. R with the 2 bones. Thank you, man. Okay, there, Colton. Seems like you're having a stroke. What's your favorite? Wow. I don't have a favorite knife because it depends on what it's for. Because favorite for what? That's like saying favorite vehicle, right? You know, like depends. Like, you know, if it's a chef knife, if it's a pocket knife, if it's a hard use knife, if it's a slicer. Locking my wrist. I'll show you guys some really cool knives here in 1 second, though, that I do really like. I'll show you the knives I brought to Blade Show. But I like a lot of knives, man. There's just so many great ones out there to say favorite. I have like a top 20. I'm in Maryland, so no blade length restrictions. Looking for an all-arounder, something to slice, keeps a nice blade, but can handle some abuse. Get the FG. Get the FG, the Vision FG, Civivi Vision FG. Go watch my full review on it first. And if you want something possibly a little bit tougher than that, go and check out some of Kaiser's crossbar locks. They have a few different knives. The Kaiser drop bear is really good. That's going to be a super tough lock. And if you're really wanting like tough, go with Cold Steel. But like I said, Civivi and Kaiser are doing a really good job. KUBEY's doing a really good job for budget. What knives did you purchase for yourself at Blade Show? I purchased one, and then we lost it. And it was a collector piece, too. It was one of those cell shade heretics, the OTFs, spear point, dagger blade. Last one, and I think we left it in the car or something, the rent-a-car. Fucking sucks, man. But, you know, I'm not too mad about it, man. I come home with way more than I buy. You know, all the companies will just hand me what I want. And, you know, and yeah, that's a big privilege. It is. So, you know, I don't have to purchase anything when I go. I sometimes do just to support a company. But even Heretic will send me stuff if I wanted. They probably would have gave it to me if I just asked them, but I didn't. I just, you know, I wanted to pay them for it. But shit happens. But the thing is, though, is that, like, just because I didn't buy anything doesn't mean I don't leave with the stuff I love, because I can literally just give it to me usually, right? Because they know it's good for business, right? Because if I love something and I have it on the channel, I'm going to show it off a lot more. It's going to be on the channel a lot more. It's only good for them. One video, like when you're talking about advertising privileges or purposes, one video pays for any knife. Any knife. Like, even if it's a $3,000 knife in many cases, because how much, like, you got to think about, like, say, ads, right? Commercials, things like that. How much do you pay to get 3,000 people or 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 people to see your product, right? Well, that usually costs a lot of money. So the knife, and I spend so much, and this is another thing is people have to realize, they'll give it to me, but I'm not getting it for free, right? I've never gotten one knife for free. Every knife has to be filmed and put in videos and edited and tested, and not all of them are tested, but you know what I mean? Oh, stop, broke my tip. So in many cases, like say these, right? Or actually, you know, a lot of knives, man. Like, I'll spend way more money and time than the knife costs. Now, some knives, yes, might not cost so much, but it evens out. And then if those knives wind up in 3 or 4 videos, like, then I spent way more than anybody else. Like, you know, like anybody who thinks that it's free, I want to come work for me. I have a job for you right now. I will pay you in knives. All I want you to do is work like 12 hours, you know, and I'll send you a knife. You know, fucking beautiful, right? You could get free knives too. All right, so we are ready to go to the 1,000. All right, my audio's cracking up. Sorry if it is. It might be just YouTube. How about now? How is that now? Is it good? Hey, Jared, I sharpened the Spyderco Enduro at 20 degrees. The factory edge is 15. Yes. Is it okay that there is now another bevel under the original? So that would be considered a micro bevel. Now, I know it's obviously a big micro bevel, so it's not like a micro. So I don't know what you would call in between a bevel and a micro. A medium bevel? I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just going to make your edge tough. You have a choice now. Do you want to continue doing 20 degrees? I'm knocking back my burr really quick. Do you want to continue doing 20 degrees and then just wait till the steel removes until it's even? I'm wondering why you moved it. Because a 15-degree edge bevel is very sharp. It is much sharper than a 20, but a 20 is much tougher. Were you getting chipping that you were wanting to get rid of, or did you just do it and that's how it came out? If that's the case, you're perfectly fine. There's going to be nothing wrong with it. It's going to be a tough edge. That's it. It's going to be a nice tough edge. And 20 degrees technically cuts really well. It's still a sharp fucking edge. That's the majority of what knives are sharpened at is 20 degrees. But in the future, when you resharpen it, sharpen it to 15 or just go to 17. If you want something right in the middle. Okay, cool. I don't want to, you should be able to hear me pretty good from right there. This mic picks it up pretty far. Ooh, see, look what happens when you got plunge grind issues. Look at that, I hit the plunge, see that? There you go, those are plunge issues. Luckily, this isn't the kind that will be recurving right away. Going across the stone. And I got, man, this is such a flat bevel because I'm just going because I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. I'm going, like, even if it looks like I'm going across the stone fast, I'm not fatiguing myself. So I'm able to get nice flat strokes across the stone, meaning my bevel is nice and flat. Now, if I notice my hands getting a little fatigued, I'll just wait for a second, check my edge out, look at it, because you don't want to get fatigued. If you start getting fatigued, your angle's going to start changing, and that's when you start making mistakes. Be patient, be calm. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about how fast it's going to go. Just work on it as long as it takes, and just be happy doing it. Enjoy it. The more you enjoy it, the better your results are going to be. The more frustrated you get, the worse your results are going to be. So I'm knocking back the burr because when I'm done sharpening, the burr's over here like this. So I have a metal wire right here. So I want to just move it over back over to the other side because if I start going like this, which I could, it could just rip the burr off and it could take a little steel with it. Now, depending on how many more stones I'm going to do, it might not be that big of a deal, but you don't want to just cut it off in many cases like that. You want to just flip it over like that. Get it out of the way, then do some forward strokes. Oh yeah, when you set your knife down to find your angle, focus here at the heel. Don't focus over here, focus right at the heel. So you only care about matching this little area. That's going to help you put it back in the exact same spot because it'll be much easier for you to realign this little part right here on the stone more so than the rest of the blade. So just a little thing to think about. Is it bad that I prefer the other YouTube live setup? It was easier to check the chat on the non-mobile live version. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. Huh. You know, I am, yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean. I don't know. Oh, you mean on the, okay, yes, I know what you mean, StreamYard. Yeah, we're going to go back to StreamYard soon. I got my computer set all up and everything's ready to go. I used my camera the other day. I'm going to go back to camera, like very, very, very soon. So, thanks, Ryan. Yes, I agree. It is much easier and it makes the entertainment much better because people can see who I'm talking to because I can push the comment and pop it right up. I agree. It's a lot better. From Neve Knife Co. What are they asking? Are you in the war room? I'm always in the war room. You just ordered some stroppy stuff. Yo, just ordered some stroppy stuff. Shout out to you, Spider G. 0.5 micron, 1 mic, and 4 mic paid extra for quick shipping. Love you, brother. Thank you, man. So he got the best stropping compound you can get. Stroppy stuff from Neve Knife Co. It is the best. This is all I use now. I do have a lot of other emulsions, but there's no point in using any other ones because no other ones work as good as that stuff. It has the most consistent amount of grit inside of it, and it's diamonds, and then it's also like I've had other ones that clog and they leak all over the place because the diamonds are not consistent, and some of them don't even work really well. Like they work, but they break down like immediately. Like the second you use them, it's like they're never going to work that good again. This, you'll get a lot of stropping out of it, and a lot of applications too. $200 if you bare knuckle fight your uncle. I would never bare knuckle fight any of my uncles. What? No. No. My uncles are badasses. Take a lot more than that. Plus, I love my uncles. I fight for my uncles, not with them. But I would never disrespect any of my uncles like that. My uncles will ruin your life. What is that knife called? This one right here. This is the, I pulled the box out. This is Hot Knives. So it's the Hot Knives Pathfinder. Hot Knives Pathfinder. I just did a video on it on YouTube. You can find it like 3 videos ago or something. I'm not positive. Just look at my most recent videos. Also, you can just go into the link down in the description, go to the TACRAY link, click that. Then at the top search bar, just put in Hot Knives. You can put Hot Knives Pathfinder in and it'll pop right up. How well would my serrated Spyderco be able to get resharpened and still hold an edge? I mean, just depends on you. You got to be good at serrations. I mean, serrations are easy if you know how to do them, but they're not easy to do if you don't. A Dremel is the fastest way. If you get a Dremel, get the round bit, and just bzz, 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 bzz. Or if you have a fixed angled system that you can put a thin rod on, like I have some of those rods, they're very skinny rods that you can do on serrations. All right, so we are going to remove the burr on, or you know, actually we're going to use this and see. I don't know if this will polish it from this. I do have a medium I can use, but I'm going to go across the stone and see if we can't polish it from 1,000 grit to this now 3,000 to 5,000 grit. In many cases, you need a 2,000 in between here, so I might grab the medium, but we're going to see. We might be able to do it. I do love these Spyderco ceramics. This is very similar to this. This is a little bit more aggressive. This is more like 2,000 probably. It might be a 3,000. I don't know. This is probably more like a 5,000, maybe even a 10,000. I don't know, because this is the ultra fine. They have the fine. I don't have the fine, but they have the medium, the fine, and then the ultra fine right here. I don't think you need both because I think the fine is basically an ultra fine. But what I'm going to do is actually, I'm just going to go like this. Use the medium first, and then, that's my soapy water right there. And I'm going to use this first, and then we'll go to that and see how that works. See if we can't polish this edge up. Feels good. Feels like it might be working. What micron would you recommend? 0.5 right now is one that I am absolutely falling in love with. I usually recommend a 1, 3, or a 6 micron. 6 micron is like a great all-around compound because it's good for toothy edges and it's good for fine edges. However, I'll tell you what, this 0.5 micron has been going crazy. Everybody that I've talked to absolutely loves it. For some reason, this stuff, like, so I never gave half a micron very much credit because every stropping compound I've ever tried, half micron never did anything for me. I never liked it. I can't think of one, not one that I liked. Not even Gunny Juice. That shit is something different. I love that stuff. I have no problem using this as a one and done.
No, dude, you don't understand. I have.
But 1.1 or 0.5 is just fine for most people. I like a 4 and a 6 too. So if you want to get a few, you can go that route. But you really could get by with just a half a micron or a 1 or a 6. It doesn't really matter. Any one of them will do you well. They're all really good. You got to think 1 micron is like 10, 15,000 grit. So how? Hey, can you please recommend a good pocket knife that could cut a finger off in a slight swipe? Yeah, but you probably want something like this, actually, instead of... Where the fuck did it go? Oh, no, here it is. This might work a little bit better. Just saying. This is from Fox Cigar Cutter. Not a bad gig. But I would say the best one is going to be the Neve Knife Co-Offender. That thing, it pulls things in and it will take a finger off like lightning, like nothing, like butter. Absolute butter. Another good one would be the Derecho. The Derecho being a hawkbill blade, it's very, very deadly. Any advice on forming a burr to the heel as quick as the belly? Yes. When you're on the heel, go like this. So right now I'm on the heel, right? I'm focusing right there. I will start and I'll go like this. And sometimes I'll go like this. And I'm just basically cutting in. And then I will finish it off. And basically I'm grinding a little bit, but then I'm blending it in. Always blend in. So I go like this. And I'm focusing just at the heel. And sometimes I'll even put a little bit of pressure down at the heel. And then blend in. Do not do more than just a few passes before you blend. That's where people mess up, is they'll do that, but then not blend it in. I feel like I raised my angle a little bit when I got on this stone. Let me try lowering it really quick. Let's see if that helps. I know we were on the other side, but I want to kind of convex it a little bit. Ranger Green Bug Out. Shit, would be dope if you knocked him out. You go viral. What? No. I was singing like I was chilling. I was reading. Yeah, that's how I read too. I read just like I act like when I'm alone and I'm singing. I'm still live. I promise. Now we all know my singing sucks. The whole video will freeze. Whoopsie. Oh no, I just hit my damn edge. All right, let me go back to this really quick. All right, so now we need to go to this one. Let's hopefully see if this one will work as a finishing stone to put a mirror polish on this. I'm not sure. I should have, if I was going to do it and I was going to do it like in a practical way, not that this isn't practical, but I mean like where I know for sure, I would have went to a resin bonded stone. I love those for mirror polish edges. I can do, the progression right to it. Or I would have just made sure I added a stone in between my 1000 and the ceramic, like a 2000 grit stone. If you do that, this will absolutely mirror polish. And it might mirror polish from here, actually. It feels like a mirror polish edge right now, but it doesn't mean it is. Let's see. Let me look at it. Yeah, we're close. Most people would consider it a mirror polished edge. Looks pretty good. Hey. I written that one. Tenacious has to have the crappiest steel ever. The Tenacious, there's Tenaciouses now that have good steels. I think the original one was 8CR, so yeah, it was a shitty steel. Basically like a 420 HC. That's basically what 8CR is. But yes, it's a shitty steel. Especially for over $10 in 2025. You know, back in the day it was a good steel, but that's how all steels are, right? 440C used to be a super steel. Now it's a low grade budget steel. Or, you know, I would say just a budget steel because 440C is actually pretty good. 440C and 14C have a lot of similarities. I like 14C better, but 8CR is a lot less good. 9CR is basically, which is like the steel, which is like a 440C. 440C is good. Yeah, we got a mirror edge. It's a mirror edge. It's not the most mirror, but it is a mirror edge regardless. And if I could just hold this angle, this is one thing with ceramics that can suck for people is there's no feedback. So like on a diamond plate, I can feel the stone biting into the steel, which actually helps you hold your angle. When it's slippery like this, you don't have any feedback, so you can't really feel when your angle is being held perfectly. Now you can get good at it where you feel indicators, because the more you sharpen, the more the smaller the indicators need to be for you to read it. You know what I mean? So it does become easier over time, but it's also like when I first started sharpening, I did not like using ceramic plates. I preferred like an Arkansas because I had more feedback from it. And with ceramic plates, I didn't have feedback. Now I loved ceramic rods, but the plates I just could not, like. And then once I tried resin bonded diamond, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever use a ceramic plate again because a resin bonded diamond stone, yes, it's very expensive, but it has great feedback. The finer you get, the less feedback, but it has a very hard, it's a very hard stone, but it has this tiny bit of give, tiny bit with the resin and the diamonds that just make it feel really good and make it get like the most luscious and best edges. And in my opinion, the flattest edges. Now, ceramics, yeah, that's sharp. Holy shit, that's sharp. Ceramics have the ability to get incredibly sharp edges, especially if you're good at holding a perfect angle. But if you're not, you will convex it. You will see the convexing very, very clearly, and you will see facets in your edge, which are basically just indicators of you changing your angle over and over. You're looking for your edge to be very consistent with the scratches, and you don't want them running any direction but straight up and down, right? You don't want them going this way across the edge. Those are facets. Why is my thing? Oh, there it goes. No. Has nobody commented in like 10 minutes? Let me redo this because I feel like something messed up. There we go. Yeah, my thing was fucking froze, I think. Like it's a great knife, just can make sure to keep it oil ZP189 can rust. Yep, that's true. Marine X is in here. Shout out to Marine X. Definitely go and give him some love and subscribe to his channel. We were talking about this little guy here just a little bit ago, talking about the live we did, how much fun it was. But yeah, guys, go and subscribe to Marine X. Awesome channel. Awesome guy. Where's my damn strap? I didn't think I put it back. What the hell did I do with it? Oh, is it not? No. All right. Well, we're gonna have to grab a different strap. I lost my half micron strap. What's going on right now? I feel like it's like right in front of me, and I'm just looking at it. And I'm just passing it up. Whatever. This is 9 micron, which I probably should do finer than that because that's very fine. Let me go to a what is this? This is a 1. This is a 1 micron. The grayish blue. But yeah, shout out to Marine X, man. Awesome guy. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it, man. He linked it right there, so it's very easy for you guys to go and subscribe. You can go right in there and subscribe to him very easily. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's he lives in Texas, so he's a Texas a guy out of Texas, and yeah, he's got a ton of knowledge, and you know, been in the obviously he's a Marine, works for the government, so he's a government agent. No, he's a good guy. There we go. All right, that is very sharp. Now, I would not want to keep going with stropping because this is already a very clean edge. And when it's glassy smooth, so when you can take your nail just like this and go like that and not feel anything, but it feels like wet glass, like it literally feels like nothing, like wet glass, then you know your burr's removed and you're very consistent. Once you got it to that point, you don't want to continue stropping, because now what you could potentially do is take your very flat bevel and start rounding it, and you don't want to do that. This should have enough bite and sharpness to go cleanly through this, as it does, which this is a much harder challenge than paper. Paper towel is like 10 times harder than paper. So anybody, because I've had people where I use the paper towel and they're like, why didn't you do it on paper? And it's like, because if it can cut the paper towel, paper's nothing for it. But because some of you guys like to see that anyway, let's just show it. Shit. Swirling. And then here's the one we did just a little bit ago. That one's also very sharp. All right, let me Jordan this thing into my garbage. All right, Tan says, still looking for those sharpening stones, at least somewhat affordable. And by that, I mean diamond guided stones that will not break the home budget. Okay, so 1x6 stones you're talking about? Like I said, half-stone starts, or what you're, that's the best. If you want half-stone start diamond plates, those are going to be the best period, and they're even more affordable than, they're like 30 bucks a piece. So you'll want to get, you know, a handful of them, you know, but if you're wanting something more affordable than that, I mean, you can just go on Amazon and find something that's cheap. But, you know, that you're going to get, that's what you're going to get, though, right? Like, if you want good quality stuff, it's going to cost you, $30 a piece is not bad, man. The Atomas are like 60 bucks a piece. So, and I think that those ones are better than the Atomas, actually. But they don't make that stone in 3x8s. They only make them in 1x6s. Now, there are other diamond plates you can get, but they're, you know, they'll probably wear out a little faster, or quite a bit faster. The Hapstone ones are CBN. So that's kind of the beautiful thing with them, is the CBN lasts longer. CBN lasts longer and lasts longer than diamond for knife sharpening purposes only. So if you are wanting a diamond plate that, yeah, it might be a small investment, but it's going to last you the longest and you'll get your money out. Go with the Hapstone starts. Links are down in the description. Just go to the Hapstone and then look for the starts. If they are sold out and they don't have any, I do have some cheap resin bonded diamond stones on the way right now that I'm about to test. I do not know how they are, but they are resin bonded diamonds, but they are very cheap. So I don't have high hopes, but we're going to see. Do you find it hard to freehand on 1x6? No, it's not hard. It just takes longer. Like here, I'll show you. These are the alphas. These are some of the best resin bonded diamond stones, USA market, and then these are the best you're going to be able to find. These are absolutely amazing stones. I love these. But like if you look, we can put this right in here, go like that. That's obviously too low, so we need a different clamping system. So we want this. We use this one now, so now I'm going to have to do the damn deal with the spinning. That's why that clamp one's a little bit better. Thank you for the reply. No problem, man. No problem. The sharp ball is pretty decent for 60 bucks. Yeah, but sharp ball, he's talking about a 1x6 for fixed angle. He's talking about a stone this size. You're thinking of 2x6 or whatever. It's time to chill with knees. Shout out to you, Nam. Are those linked? Yes, TS Prof. Just go to the TS Prof link and type in alpha. After you click the link at the search bar at the top, alpha, ALPHA. These will pop up. They're very expensive, but damn it, they're great, man. It goes all the way up to, I think, 9,000 grit, or is it 9,000? 9,000. Goes up to 9,000. They have sets that go up to 11,000, I think. They're amazing. Like I said, they're some of the best. And all you need after that, just get one conditioning stone like this. Maybe after a year or two, you might have to flatten them with some silicon carbide powder. But if you use this, and you do this every handful of sharpenings, every 5, 6, 7 sharpenings, like I think I've used this about 10 times since I've done this. Knock it down. Basically, you're just bringing out the diamonds. And you probably want to do it on a surface like this. Then that's it. Now we're good to go. You do have to use soapy water with them. At least that's what I recommend using. You can use just regular water, but it does not work as well as soapy water. Soapy water, the oils that are in the soap, help keep the stone from clogging. This is a very grit accurate. There we go. So the problem is that you don't have a lot of stone. So yes, you can absolutely do it. But what you don't have is you don't have the wide stone like this where your finger can be over here and you can get this entire blade and really hold that angle really well. So over here, you're not going to be able to do it as easily. But as long as you can lock your wrist and focus on right here, you can do it. You just got to be really good at maintaining the angle because you're hitting a small part of the stone. I'm obviously hitting more of the stone. So with this, I'm hitting from here to here. Here to here. With this, I'm hitting obviously only to right there. So it's going to take you a little bit longer. This will take longer to use. It won't be as easy. It'll make a little bit more fatigue. And it won't be, like I said, as easy holding the angle. But they do work. I literally sharpened on 1x6s for years. But let me show you a little trick. So what you can do, get rid of that guy and go just like this. And I know this looks dangerous, but just follow me. Follow me. You can use that too in your hand. It doesn't matter. If you're more comfortable going like this, then go like this. You can do that too and just hold it in your hand. But I'm going to show you a trick. Get it in your hand and you can get nice and close like I am right now. And I can see when my edge hits, sorry, fucking carpal tunnel. I can see when my edge hits the stone. I can get nice and close to it with my eyes. I can bring it up to my face. And then here's another thing. This is the #1 way to convex an edge, in my opinion, freehand. What you do is lock in, right? Figure out whatever angle you're going to hold. Start going across the stone. Do a few passes. When you have that motion going, like your wrist is locked, and you're basically just leaning in, and try to hold the angle. Do not try to convex. Try to hold a perfect angle. A convex is like this. A V grind is like this, right? V edge, convex edge. Convex edge is very, very sharp. It's just a little tougher. So you're going to lock in. When you start going like this, then start moving your hand. So now instead of moving this, I'm going to move this. So what you can do is lock in. Now, all I got to do is when I'm pulling, I just lift my elbow. Or I can literally just use the stone, and I'm basically going like this. And because of you moving your blade and the stone at the same time, it just naturally convex the edges and makes it perfect, perfect convex. I know it looks like, it appears like it's going to be more difficult. It is absolutely more easier. It is way easier to do it like this because, like I said, you're not far away. You're right here with it. You can see everything. Like, I love, like, if I teach convex sharpening just like this. And it is very easy. You know, you can do just the blade, you can do just the stone, or you can do both. But yes, you can absolutely sharpen on a 1x6. It just, you know, takes a little bit longer. But yeah, like I said, you can also go like this. But we don't want to waste our time, so we are going to use and the Toma. Then because I gotta fix this now. Tans, these are the new resin bonded stones. They have currently not the diamond plates. So yeah, depending on which one you're talking about, I didn't see what you guys were talking about. But yeah, remember there's always a difference between diamond plates and resin bonded diamond, or CBN plates and resin bonded CBNs. The bonded means that the diamonds are mixed throughout the stone. So this brown part this is a metal bonded stone, but this is the same concept with hybrids, vitrified, or resin. This stuff has diamonds mixed throughout. So as the surface breaks down and the diamonds crumble and fall apart, you're just getting into more and more and more diamonds. All you got to do is just use a stone, go like this, and it'll knock the resin or whatever bond it is down, and it'll bring the diamonds out of the surface. Once those diamonds wear down, you do it again and bring back out the diamonds. Diamond plates, it's just on the surface. Once the diamonds wear off, you got to throw it away and buy a new one. Atomas, you don't have to buy the new plates. All you got to buy is new replacement sheets like this. Those are linked in the Neve Knife Co. link down in the description. Hey, Jared, how was we compared to Riet as for collaborating? So the thing is that I did not use we yet. I have not used them for a manufacturer. I literally collabed with them. That's their knife, my design. Riet, I had it manufactured, so that's why it doesn't say Riet on it. I had it manufactured by Riet, but so I can't speak to how that would be with we, but I imagine it's going to be good. I do have some stuff in the works that I'm going to be doing with them right after the Inmate. But the Inmate is my design. It's just I don't make as much money off of it. Basically, all I do is design it. They take care of everything else. It's on them. With the Riet, I have to take care of warranty. Everything's on me. Got a Japanese king stone, 6,000 grit, works really well. These are kings right here. I was actually going to talk about kings. Kings are my favorite water stones, especially for a budget. Like if you're looking for a budget stone. But the thing is I wouldn't use them on anything other than chef knives. Yeah, I would use them on chef knives only. This is a company I recently started checking out for chef knives. These things are really nice. I've got 3 of them. This is the small one, so this is like the paring knife. I do have 2 other large ones. Beautiful knife, man. These things came really sharp. I can't remember. I think they might be a powdered 14C28N. I think. I can't remember now. Oh, it makes me mad. I can't remember. Somebody look that up. Todd, look that up for me. See what steel this set is, and look at this exact knife, because I think it's either VG10 Damascus or 14C Damascus. I want to sharpen this sucker right now. It's so damn sharp, but I love sharpening chef knives. Chef knives are the funnest and easiest knives to sharpen. They're so thin behind the edge, they're the easiest. Like I said, this is what I always say. If you see somebody on the internet sharpening chef knives and they get great edges, that doesn't mean they're a great sharpener, right? That just means they can sharpen chef knives, because chef knives are very easy to sharpen. The same guy who can get a razor on this could never sharpen, something like this. We're talking about like way thicker edges. This takes way more longer, and then the bevels are way bigger. And like this, when you're done sharpening this, you can barely see the edge. It's so thin because it's so small. So if there's inconsistencies, you're not really going to see it. With that knife, you're going to see every inconsistency. So that's all I'm saying. Like, you know, when you can master a knife like that, a thick edge, then you can say you're a really good sharpener. But if you're not saying you're not sharpening knives, I'm not saying you're not sharpening. I'm saying as far as knowing whether or not your edges are very consistent or not. You know, it's kind of like saying, I don't know, I'm a truck driver but can't drive stick, you know. Best edge angle for a 4mm bush knife. It depends. Depends on the edge angle. So the 4mm is the spine. I need to know the edge. What's the knife? And I can tell you maybe, but I don't know just by that. Also, what's the purpose? What'd you say? It was a bush knife? A bushcraft knife? If it's a bushcraft knife, I would go 22.5. It depends, because if it's a Scandi, then you know you have to go with a low angle. But if it's a flat grind or a hollow or something, I would probably go 20, 22 degrees. Depends on what you're gonna do with it. Are you planning on chopping with it? Or are you planning on only cutting with it? Like if you're only going to cut wood and not chop, and you're just going to cut into wood and shave wood and cut food and stuff like that, then I would go with a lower angle. But if you're going to chop whatsoever with it, I would go with a little bit of a tougher edge. I have a cutting board from them, and then three chef knives. I'm on the mobile currently, but we'll see what I can do. Yeah, if you can't, it's okay. I'm going to do a full video on them soon. I just couldn't remember, but I remember I do have a company that recently sent me some chef knives in 14C. I thought it was them. I was really excited about it because to me, that's a phenomenal steel for everything. Like, it's great hard use steel. It's a great chef knife steel. It's a super tough steel with great edge stability. So it does good with super thin blades. And because it's tough, it obviously does good with hard use. I know they can't now, Chuck, but that's my point though, right? Like, if you can drive a truck, right? But I'm saying, like, are you a trucker, right? Like, because I would say that it's imperative that you learn how to drive stick. Especially if you're a semi driver and stuff, you know, like a lot of them have 18 gears, and like it's crazy to not know how to drive stick in being a trucker, right? Like obviously you can drive a truck, a specific truck or whatever, right? Like, you know, a mail truck or whatever. But if you're talking about an 18-wheeler type of driving, you better know how to drive fucking stick, because you're going to run into that day when you're going to have to switch trucks, and it's going to be another truck, and you're going to have to learn. And then how do you have to get your CDL, I think, that way anyways. I don't think you can get your that class CDL without knowing how to use the air brakes and clutch and all that shit. All right, I am locked and loaded on this guy, because this is not a crazy amount of belly. It's just enough that I don't have to raise my elbow up very high, but I have to raise it. And I have to raise it a decent amount, but I'm basically just like leaning like this with my body right there and going back. So it's very easy for me to plant right back to where I was. I'm basically, because I'm in a chair that spins, so it's very easy for me to go like this, right? You can do the same thing. And if you don't have a chair like that, do the lean. Lean in, lean out, like this. Lean in, lean back. Lean in, like that. And you could leave it on the stone like this, where you never lift off the stone. You literally just leave the edge on the stone. A lot of people find that to be easier, because now you don't have to worry about fluctuating. I mean, obviously still lock your wrist, but a lot of people, when they pick up like this, they tend to go, meep, meep, meep. They move their wrist. But if you stay locked, a lot of people, it's a lot easier for them to just lift their elbow, drop the elbow, lift their elbow, drop the elbow. Never shift your wrist. same Jason. Been driving for almost 12 years now. Love truck driving. Just get a Class B license. Beautiful edge, man. Beautiful, beautiful edge. Look at how good that looks. Nice and flat. Consistent scratch pattern. Nice and even across the edge from heel to tip. Now we gotta do the same thing. And I'm not going to stay on the stone. I'm going to do single passes in this direction. I do a little bit better like that with this one. I didn't used to. It used to be where where it was easier for me to leave it on the stone. Thank you for your advice on Hapstone. I have ordered 4 of them now. Good for you, Tans. Good for you. Yeah, those are going to change your life. Like, man, I should have told you exactly what grits to get. But as I say, you definitely want to get either the 80 or the 100. Those stones right there, the 80 or the 100 CBN starts from Hapstone. They cut. Like, you want to talk about reprofiling fast, get those. Get an 80 or a 100. Now, the other grits, obviously, accordingly, right? A 100, a 300, a 600, and a 1200, right? That'll get you a good set up to from 100 grit to 1200. But you got to figure out what works for you. Chris Jones, been a member with the Spartans for 26 months. What's up, everybody? My old phone went tits up. This one sucks, so I might not respond to everyone. Sorry. Could have sworn Jared just did the beep beep from the Roadrunner. I might have. Thanks for joining, Bones. Sorry about the phone. Now we're going to call you No Phone Jones. Or 2 phone. He's got 2 phones. Do you deburr with the edge, leading or edge trailing strokes? I've seen people recommend both. I always recommend you start with edge trailing when removing a burr. I'll show you here in a second because we're going to be removing this one. Wow, we already got a burr on this side. So I recommend it's a 12. We're looking for the 6 or the 4. You know what? Let's grab the 6. We don't. Let's grab the 4. I always recommend going edge trailing first on both sides. Fatigue the burr back and forth until it's fatigued, until it is like basically falling off. Because the point is you don't want to tear your burr off. That's the worst thing to do, especially with a big burr. Like if it's a very tiny burr and it's like a 3,000 grit stone, that doesn't matter. But if we're talking about 1,000 grit and low, or 1,200 grit or lower, where the burr can be substantial, you know, like right now, this burr, I would never tear this burr off. I would not just drag it across and tear it off, because now, and I didn't know this a long time ago, but now I know it's like it leads to micro tear out. Sometimes it works just fine, but then a lot of times it makes it to where you have micro tear out. And meaning like steel came off with the burr, or something gets left behind. So I like to fatigue it back and forth like a metal wire from the backwards direction. So tip to heel, just like strapping. And I'll do it on both sides as gentle as possible with no pressure, because I don't want the stone to hit my scratch pattern. I only want it to snag the burr, if that makes sense. And then I'll go to edge leading. Okay, now we're on a 400 grit Atoma. This is a little bit of a newer stone in the 140, so it's a pretty aggressive 400, but that's what I love. I like my diamond plates to be as aggressive as possible for that grit, because that means they cut the fastest and they last the longest. What you don't want is you don't want a stone that says 400 grit, but it's a 600. Or maybe it's a 400 and it feels like a 400, and then as soon as you start using it, it turns into a 600. It's just going to dwindle away. This is a real 400 that stays 400 for a very long time. And same thing with those Hapstone starts. Same thing. That's why I love them so much. Those are a great example of what you want in a diamond plate. How would I sharpen the FLN? The exact same way I did with the original. I would use a 1/2 inch stone or a round stone. I will be doing a video on it shortly, very soon, because we're going to be dropping some on the site, well, on TCal's site. So you will be seeing a video soon. But yeah, I did a video on it, so I did sharpen it up in a video, and you can watch my full review. I talk about it in there too. But yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, you want to use 1/2 inch stones, very thin, skinny stones, or round stones because it's a hawkbill. This is the original right here. So the edge is going to be very similar. The difference is the new ones are much thinner and have the hole in the blade. Okay, now we're going to this side. So I'm going to do my edge trailing pass to flip my burr over. I'm just flipping it over, getting it out of the way so I don't tear it off when I'm trying to sharpen this side. Yo, hey, Nate with the 50 bones, brother. Thank you, man. Holy shit. Love you, Neeves. You've been a tremendous help at teaching me how to sharpen a knife properly. I also blame you and a few other YouTubers for my knife addiction. Now get that money. Dude, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Shout out to you, man. That's fucking awesome. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you for showing some love. A lot of people don't know how much work goes into making these videos and this content and posting multiple videos every day, multiple posts. It's a lot, man. It really is. I love every bit of it. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love it. But I definitely appreciate when people, you know, help out. It's always needed. So thank you so much. Great channel, Jared. Thanks for all the great sharpening content. I can't help but hyper judge the sharpening choil and plunge grinds on all knives. I know. Like earlier, the knife we sharpened earlier. Good example of why it's fucked up. Like what do we hit the plunge on this one on both sides. What a mess. And if you like a $50 knife to somebody might be like a $400 knife to me. And I don't mean expense wise because the expense is probably still the same. I just mean because companies will send me those, right? I'm just saying, like, you know, like as far as like how it means. So I understand that. Nobody wants their edge to look like shit, especially if they have a beautiful edge, right? Like think about handing your edge over and you're like, man, this is a sharp edge. It's somebody looks at it in the fucking, it's all messed up back here, but the rest of the edge looks good. That sucks. And then also it leads to recurving. It leads to a lot of issues, man. Now, again, like I said, these diamond plates, what's really cool about diamond plates is the feedback. Can you guys hear that? You can hear it and feel it. So because it cuts, I can feel the steel removing. It's unlike, like say some aluminum oxide stones where you're just going across. You're like, am I doing anything? It's not like that. You're doing something. You know you're doing something. You can feel you're doing something. And that helps you stay locked in. So it's easy to stay consistent. Very easy. Or a lot easier, I should say. Maybe not very easy, but it's easier. And if you just listen to me about locking your wrist and using your elbow and your body, you will get it down pat. Yeah, that looks beautiful, man. Hey, Tony, thank you for the 5 bones, man. Man, I appreciate all the love, guys. Thank you guys so much. It absolutely means a lot to me. Do you use a leather strap or a denim? I use leather. I do have denim, but I prefer leather. I got a lot of leather, so... but you can use denim. I like leather. One reason why I like leather, just for an example really quick, I wish I could find my motherfucking pink one. I would show you this right now. I can so what I do is when I want to reapply this, so when this turns black, what I'll do is I'll take alcohol, I'll spray, or Windex, and I'll just spray the surface and I'll wipe it. And it'll be basically fresh leather again. And then let it dry and then reapply. That way, every time I have a very clean surface with my diamond emulsion on top of it, and I don't have a bunch of steel particles mixing in, it makes it last longer, and it's just better. Okay, we are ready to move on to the next one. The next one is that's a 12. Where did the 6 go? Here it is. Now we're moving to 600. We went from 140 to 400. Now we're on 600. I'm loving it like crazy right now. Flipping my burr over. I'm doing 10 vids a day, long form from shorts, everything. I'm all over the place, having fun with all my platforms. Almost 200 vids, less than a month, grinding my ass off. Spider G, yeah, you know the deal. And yes, I do a lot more than it too. Like, I film multiple videos a day. I edit multiple videos a day, depending on how much time I have. Plus, I do shorts. Plus, I post, I post TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, I want to go to Rumble and X, but right now I'm not on there, but I want to get on there, posting wise. And YouTube has definitely been the most beneficial, but the other ones are definitely beneficial as well. So I think it's good to do them all, but it is a whole lot of work, man. It's tough doing. You got to run a schedule, man. There ain't no sleeping in. There ain't no days off. Fuck, man. There ain't no breaks. I'll be honest, like, man. There's days, there's weeks, there's months. Like, I don't even take a fucking break. Like, literally, like, a break is so. Wow, man. This burr, I can almost snap it off with my finger. That's a good indicator. This steel's nice and hard. I in many cases, when I get my breaks, I'm watching like YouTube because I have to. Like, that's also part of the job. I have to keep up with other people's content, other people's testing, other people's knowledge, and things like that. So I try to stay up to date with certain channels and stuff. And then also because I'm part of the community, I do, it's smart for me to do that. And like if I'm doing a collaboration with a content creator in a month or so, I might want to catch up on some of their shit, right? So there is things like that, and those will be my breaks, like things like that. And I know you might think like, well, that is, it's just fun and easy. And it's like, it is. It's definitely a blessing, but it might not be what you want to do in that moment. Gravy. Thank you for the 2 bones. You got any scars from cutting yourself? Fuck yeah, I do. Fuck man, I got tons of them. I've been stabbed in the leg 2 times. I got a scar across the bottom of my foot. I got stabbed in the hand right here, nerve damage in my finger. Sliced right here, stabbed right there, sliced this thumb open. I literally just cut myself right here like 3 weeks ago or a month ago. You can go watch I got it posted on Instagram. One of the, not really recent, but one of the recent posts. You'll see my thumb. You can also find my foot one too. That one was the worst. But yeah, man, I've got plenty of scars from knives. Bluetooth, been member for 25 months. Jones with the 2 bones, about to be drained with a tornado in the next hour. Yeah, man, Bama knife guy told me that they were fucking, they had a tornado. Hopefully you guys are all okay. Hopefully you make through it. If you just don't believe in tornadoes, I heard they go away. It's kind of like allergies. But no, seriously though, God bless, man. I hope everything's okay. Thank you for the 2 bones. And especially if something happens to you, thank you for your last 2 bones. Is your channel name Spider G? Yeah, Spider G, drop your channel, man. Drop your channel for everybody to go subscribe. How'd you do your foot? I was working, obviously, with knives, and I was about to go film B-roll. So I think I had sharpening stones in my hand and knives. So I was walking out. They were all closed, and I had stuff like this, and I had my phone. And I walked out of my studio, and I was going to go film B-roll, and one of the knives hit the screen of my phone, and because of that, I thought it cracked it, so I instantly looked at my phone. Well, right when I did that, one of the knives slipped out, fell down, and I'm walking at the same time. So I'm like walking, looking at my phone, and then it went down, it hit the flipper tab, flipped open as my foot came down on top of it, all the way in, full body weight. I didn't know it was down there. Yeah, pretty bad. Definitely ruined the next couple months. You going to Atlanta? Fuck yeah, I am. Absolutely. Couldn't miss it. Gotta go. Got a bunch of different things we're doing this year, man. We might be going over to ballistics to go cut some bodies up. One of those, those big ballistic bodies. Might be doing that pretty soon. Might go to Cold Steel possibly. Go to WorkSharp. I got a lot of plans this year. I want to do a lot of collaborations. I wouldn't even mind collaborating with other channels that have nothing to do with the knife community. As long as they have a channel. Regardless of what it is. Because EDC can bleed into anything. Everybody carries boots, belts, wallets, watches, sunglasses, knives. blah, 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 blah. So, you know, it's not, and then also because of that, if you're in another community, say, I don't know, cooking or dirt bikes or I don't fucking know, whatever, air guns. It's nothing to collaborate with another channel like mine, and both of our audiences like each other. The earth being flat makes them worse. Remat with the 10 Knees Knives memberships, man. Thank you guys. Thank you. Shout out to Remet. What an awesome company. Definitely go and subscribe to them on Instagram. They do have an Instagram channel. And yeah, awesome company. Great knives. We're actually working on a knife design together right now as well. So hopefully, I got to make a little bit of a new design or some adjustments. And then yeah, hopefully that'll be put into work. Look at all these new members. See that? Everybody who's a new member, shout out to Ramet for that. And if you guys don't know, we do giveaways for the members twice a month. We have one this week will be coming up. So I haven't made the entry yet, so don't look for it. But just watch out for the membership lives. But hey, what I got to say is that you might want to make sure you sign back up if you do enter one. Because if you enter one and then you allow the time to go by, you might win and you might not win. So try to remember that. And being a member, man, winning one knife, man, winds up giving you way more money back. Rockstead members get a premium knife after 12 months guaranteed. Henry G says Ramet rocks with the 2 bones, man. Thank you. I appreciate the 2 bones. That's love, man. A lot of love here, guys. I appreciate it. Everybody's so awesome. But you know, that's why I love this community, man, because we help each other. We absolutely do. Like, you'll never find another community better than the knife community, and that's a fact. Like, it's crazy. There's a lot of other great communities. I know there is, but man, the knife community they're just like the best, man. They help everybody out. They oh shit, I gotta go to the 1200. Wait, that wasn't the 12, was it? That was the 6. Yeah, I gotta go to the 12 and then, oh no, it was the 12. Yes, that was the 12. Now we're gonna go to the ceramic. But yeah, man, they're the type that'll pull over and help you in a storm, you know. Unless if you're 2 Bones Jones in a tornado right now. Just fucking with you, buddy. All right, so we're going to see if we can't polish this edge a little bit. The bevel's a little bit bigger on this one, so it might be a little bit easier. Trying to be gentle with it because we did finish on a 1200 grit. And Bluetooth with the 5 bones, my boy Knees, my boy Bluetooth. Blue, you're my boy, Blue. Thank you for the 5 bones. Man, appreciate it. You guys are awesome, man. All the fucking love tonight, man. You guys are great. I'll tell you what, man, after going to Texas, definitely helps because remember, I don't, you know, obviously I can walk away with knives from a blade show, but they'll also just mail them to me. So it's a loss, but I do it to meet everybody. I do it to shake everybody's hand, to sign autographs, whatever they want, you know, pictures, obviously to see the new content, and I can make content while I'm there. So there is that. I do get to make content, but the amount of money I'll make on the content will never justify going there. So yeah, it's awesome, man. But I love doing it, and it's definitely fun. And you know, if you do consider the knives you leave with and stuff like that, yeah, you could maybe possibly call it a win, just depending. But what is important and where the value is the networking, the communications, looking people in the eye, shaking their hands, being introduced to different companies and different people. That is the benefit. Ramet with another fucking 10 bones, man. Like Ramet, knife friends, welcome to order. Ramet will not let you down. There you go. And you know, just so you guys know, 99.99999.99999% of knife companies are not going to be in my damn chat. That says a lot about a company. you know, and how much they care about the audience and the people that buy their knives, is I promise you, you're never going to see you'll never see a lot of companies down there. No companies usually. The ones that do typically care about your feedback. They typically are wanting to know what you like or what don't you like or what didn't you like or what would you like better. They want to know those things. They want to create the best stuff for you. So it's awesome when you see a knife company being a part of the community. You know, it's, to me, that's always a good sign of a good company, because most don't do that. But also, most of them will blame it on you when something goes wrong. You know, I'm not gonna say most, but you know, just saying that when you're friends with the company, and meaning like the community is, right, like they're welcome the community, they show up to lives, they, you know, they comment on your posts, they do things like that. When you're friendly and they're friendly with you, it really helps them, you know, obviously care about the customer a little bit more, where they do get held a little bit more accountable and hold themselves accountable, I should say. So yeah, it's definitely a good sign of a company that's going to treat you well and do good by you. And so far, haven't seen anything else from Romet. Romet has been a top-notch company since the first day I seen them. And we're all gonna fuck up, man. We're all gonna have mistakes. You know, that doesn't mean every knife is always perfect. There's always lemons. Fuck, I had some lemons in my knife design. It happens, you know. But it's about what they do about it, and how they try to grow and how they try to improve and whatnot. All right, let's get this damn thing done. All right. Hey, bigger flares with the 5 bones. Hey, Chris. Hey, Jared. Hey, Chris. Just kidding. Hey, Jared, just want to give you an Outdoors 55. An SO for knife sharpening pointers. Man, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the shout out, and appreciate the 5 bones. Yes, Outdoors 55, another phenomenal channel, badass channel. Definitely go and subscribe to him. Outdoors 55. Henry G with the 2 bones says story time on Texas Blade Show tonight. Okay, so the Blade Show was good. I ran into a couple cool people. Ran into Best Damn EDC, and if you guys know, I had just done a video on his knife design, and I said a lie about it by accident, not intentionally. But just let me finish. So I stated that the knife was a flat grind, and that I called it a negative, and I said I wish it was a hollow. The reason why I said that, though, is because my example was a coated example, and it was a very shallow hollow. I even did another video where I put a flat thing on it so you could see how shallow the hollow was.
Grind.
But when I felt the one at Blade Show that Taylor had in his pocket, you could totally see it was a hollow. Like, so big difference. So I learned, you know, mine was a little bit thicker than everybody else's. So I did make a video saying that I was wrong, but I didn't like make a video with the title saying I was wrong. But anyways, so when I seen Taylor, he probably didn't see the other video, but when I seen him, I already knew he's seen it. I knew he's seen it. So I walked up to him and I said, hey man, I know I reviewed your knife recently, and I said there was a negative about it. I said it wasn't a hollow grind, and I said I wish, because it was such a narrow knife, I said I wish it was a hollow. I said, but the commenters did chew me up and did tell me that it was a hollow, and I didn't, you know, whatever, blah, blah. And he said, yeah, I seen it. He's like, I seen the comments. He's like, and I figured I didn't have to say anything. He's
so
like,
you didn't want to pile on?
Yeah, I didn't want to pile on you. So I was like, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. He was really cool about it, though, that's awesome, man. Like that, you get a different perspective on somebody, the way they react to negatives and react to stuff like that. Like when you are a dick to somebody, maybe online, maybe not quite a dick, but like when you do something that could potentially make somebody not like you, and then you meet them at Blade Show and they're just as cool, you know, and they're not like showing a face, right? They understand it's content. They understand it's content creation. They understand people make mistakes. They understand, you know what I mean? Like they're not taking it, they're taking it on the chin. Like, hey man, no big deal. Don't worry about it. That's awesome. And I try to deal with things the same way. I've had very little encounters that I didn't have to do that way. Maybe one, but all the rest were great. This looks beautiful, man. Beautiful edge. It is mirror polished for sure. Looking gorgeous. I wish I could find my half a micron strap. But
It's just a little.
Found it. Found that sumbitch. All right, so I don't need to do a burr removal. But if I was going to do a burr removal, I would do just like this. I would do tip to heel. This is so fine, there's no burr. But I would do tip to heel, very gentle on both sides. And I would do it over and over until most of the burr was gone. And then I would finish off with single passes on both sides. Because this is such a fine stone, I'm just going to go straight to my half a micron stroppy stuff. This stuff. And you can see this is loaded up on the sides, but there's still plenty in the middle. So we're going to hit that middle. And I know the edge down here, this is still diamonds down here. It's just got steel on top. You know what? I'll show you guys how I clean it off really quick. Why don't I just do that? Okay, this is rubbing alcohol. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take a good chunk of napkin and I will go just like this. So I'll take the strap and go bang, 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 bang. Now this stuff is just going to come right off. And if you get like Windex just makes it just come off so fast. I wish I had my Windex right here. Windex works even better than alcohol because like, I don't know, something in it just, see how it's like coming right off? The Windex doesn't dry up so fast. This is 90%. You want 70. 70 will work better for this. The 90, man, it just dries up so fast you don't have time. But as you can see, that is the beautiful thing, though, too. For reapplying, you don't have to wait. It'll just dry right up. Let me get this corner. I got a little cut in there from going fast on the strap. But yeah, so I'll wipe it down just like that. Get it as clean as possible. Like I said, the Windex definitely cleans it a little bit better. Sometimes I'll use a little soapy water. You know, soapy water also works really well. Just don't use a lot. You know, and you'll feel the emulsion on the surface coming off. If you're using an aluminum oxide compound like the green crayon stuff, use Vaseline. Just spread Vaseline over it and then scrape it or wipe it. It will take compound and turn it into like goo, just so you know. That's Vaseline. Vaseline will take compound and turn it into goo. Now we are ready to do another Jordan and then shake it up. Oh, pump it up. We got plenty in there. Now, I like to spread mine. You don't have to. You could just leave it like that. Let it just stay built up in those areas. I like to make sure I hit the corners and stuff because I use this stuff on like with recurves and stuff. So I'll take this and I'll spread it right down the edge a little bit. Get the front edge. Get a little bit right here. Get this edge. Just you want it to be very thin though. You don't want it to be built up because it's not going to benefit you any for it to be built up like super thick. The thin layer is exactly what you want. It'll dry the fastest. It'll be the easiest to cover up. Like if you did want to put a couple layers on before you cleaned it off, because you could do that. That's what I used to always do. Recently, I've been cleaning it off every time, but this will just dry so much faster. All right, let me get to these really quick. I'm sure Michael N gifted 5 Needs Knives memberships, man. Shout out to Mike, man. Thank you, Michael. Awesome, man. Hell yeah. You know, I've recently seen a few people live around me. Live, you know, generally around me, like, you know, around the Chicago or southern Wisconsin area. What's the name of that guy you recommend and send your knives to that does hollow grinds? BGM Knives. Also, Transparent Knives has been doing some lately, depending on what it is. He's been doing a lot of hinders. But BGM Knife and Tool. You can find him on Instagram. He's a really cool guy. He'll hook you up. How good at sharpening is Kara? If it was like a 1 out of 10, 2. How good is Dan EDC handles criticisms well? Wait, good or bad? Seems like a stand-up and will admit his wrongs. Well, speaking about Blade Show some more, so that was cool meeting Taylor. I think we're going to be doing a collab here pretty soon, video. Got to meet Marine X, wound up going and did a podcast with him. That was a lot of fun. That was a blast. You can go watch that. That was done live. Smoked a couple stogies. Had some really good whiskey, or I think it was bourbon. Oh my God, it was a good time. The cigars were amazing. Makes me want to. I actually did. Yeah, I got some cigars that I'm gonna be smoking on over the next couple months. Next, what else did we do? I seen a lot of knives. Got to hang out. Got a lot of pictures with people. We went and seen Kara's grandparents. I was supposed to see my sister, but she wound up having to work, so I couldn't. Somebody's asking, hollow grind is the sharpest but the least lasting edge. No, hollow grind would be grind, not edge. So hollow grind would mean the blade. So like this is a hollow, this is a flat. Now neither one of them are sharper, right? The sharpness has to do with the edge bevel, right? That's typically going to be convex or flat. Sometimes hollow grinds cut better. Flat grinds cut the best if it's the right geometry. So now hollows do too. It depends on the geometry. So it depends on how thick the spine is and how deep the hollow goes and how thin it goes down behind the edge. But something like this is a laser beam. This thing is so thin and it gets down to such a thin edge. This is like a chef knife. Like it's so thin. And chef knives are typically full flat grinds and are very, very, very slicey. So it just depends, you know, like there's thick hollow grinds that are tough. There's thick and thin flat grinds, hollow grinds, and everything in between. So it just depends. All right, we are going to go like this. I do feel a little bit of burr up there in that nose. This is what we were sharpening, right? I'm noticing I got a little bit of emulsion getting on my edge. I went a little too early. Should have let it dry. I got to get this damn thing off. Let me just cut it really quick. It's starting to mess me up. I'm jumping. Yes. Yeah, I'm almost done. All right. So I don't want to keep going on that without checking it because, oh man, it does feel really good though. I noticed I did. What did I hit? I hit something with my tip. I got scratches just in my tip. Look at this. Just right, not at the tippity tip, but like right behind the tip, like right here. I hit something, I guess, sitting here messing around, but the rest of the edge is phenomenal. All right, now I'm going to try to hold it flat. I'm going to try to get rid of that. Very gentle. Now that the compound is a little bit more dry. I just started messing with it 5 seconds too early. Yeah, we like to rush. Got no fucking patience, do you? No patience at all. Let's see how we are. Wham! Ooh. That is sharp. That is nightmarishly sharp. That'll mess you up real good. You make a mistake with something like that, it's going to be a bad day. Bad day. Damn, that is sharp. Like hair is like just nothing. Like it just touches it. And it's gone. You actually hear it probably. So sharp, man. You can see the little bit of hair right there. Like it just pops like nothing. If you guys see it, I don't have very hairy arms because of reasons. Because of knife reasons. Alright, I find that alcohol makes my leather harden. That's not a bad thing. Like I said, Windex I think works the best. Bigger with the 2 bones. Gritomatic double-sided diamond stones. Any good? Are they won by? No, I don't know. I do have some Gritomatic stones. I haven't tried them yet though, so I can't speak to it. Let me spit. Yeah, I don't know about those. I haven't tested mine thoroughly yet, but I am going to be testing. I tested some a long time ago, but now that I've tested so much others, it's easier for me to compare it, so I'm not positive. I will say I know what the best is right now because of everything I've tried. I can tell you what the best is. Jared, imagine a hollow grind on a Max Ace Titanus. Exactly. 5 bones from Bluetooth. Thank you, Blue. Blue, my boy. Yes. Yeah, you take a hollow grind and something like that, it would be way slicier, but it's still going to be thick as a brick because it's so thick. The Titanus is like, it's like a hammer. It's it's like a pry bar, giant pry bar with a knife. It's an edge, it's a knife for sure. But when you're talking about something that thick and robust, man, putting a hollow grind on there, it's still going to be robust, but it'll be a lot slicier and it'll look cool too. I love hollows. Hollows are my favorite, but flat grinds can potentially be the best. It just depends. It all depends on the geometry. Geometry is everything, because you know, there's reasons why you do one or the other, right? You might want a thick spine with a so it has a more robust tip, with a deep hollow grind that gets down to a nice slicey edge. So now it slices really good, but your blade is still strong, so it's not going to snap, right? Now you might want a super slicey flat grind, so you're gonna have a thin blade stock that would snap, right? But a slow taper down to a relatively thick edge, where like kind of like the bug out or a TRM, right? They're very slicey, but they're not thin behind the edge, like 20 thousandths behind the edge. That's thin, but it's not like 10 thousandths, right? But they're like 100 thousandths thick blade stock. Some like I think they're like 90 thousandths actually. So it just depends. Ramet with another 10 bones. If I give Jared a belt grinder, would he be very impressed? A belt sander? I actually have a belt sander, a belt grinder. I got a lot of different shit belt wise. I got the WORKSHARP belt sharpeners. I got an actual belt sander, you know, for like sanding tables and stuff. But that's funny. One day I thought about taking and turning that thing on because it, you know, just rotates around in a circle, and putting a knife on it and sharpening a knife on it. I think I might still do it. I'm definitely going to do it. Jared, you have to try the new Poikilo Gecko S1. Such a great knife. Hologram M398. I just did a video on a well, it was the Mundus. I've done a couple Poikilos. I don't know if I did the Gecko yet, but yeah, I'm going to try to get all of them on the channel. Sandy pants covered in ants. Are you having a party? Me? No, that's Kara. Kara's having a party. Ramet out here throwing bills around like they just robbed the bank. Oh, I'm blessed to have them share that bank robbery with me. Gritomatic does sell Veneve stones, but have their own in-house brand as well. Yes. So I have a couple. I think I have a couple of the sharpening systems here that I got to test soon, and those have stones with them, I believe. So that's why I'm saying that. I haven't pulled them out and used them yet. It's coming up. To be honest, I don't know about knives, but I'm willing to learn about them. Hey, man, that's honest. And that's cool because you know what? This is the best community to ask questions. Nobody will ever give you shit for not knowing something. Like, just ask and everybody will tell you. And you will get typically the right answers. Like, if you ever are in one of my videos, go down in the comments, ask a question. You'll get a few people to answer you and give you an answer. And in most cases, if they're watching my channel, they're going to give you a good answer. And I don't say that because it's like, oh, because they're people that, you know, consume my content. I'm saying that because they watch knife reviews, so they know, right? Like, people that watch knife reviews and comment on knife reviews, typically have seen a lot of things out there. They know what's out there. They know the different steels. They know what's going on with different heat treats and stuff. They know those things. So those are the people you want to listen to. Don't Google it. Don't do anything like that. Just go to knife reviews and ask knife people. Because I guarantee the overwhelming majority of people in my comment section, even if they don't have like 100 knives, they might only have 10, but they've researched to get that 10. And you know, some of them will buy like, get up to like 15, 20 knives and then start recycling them. Like they'll take care of them, take good care of them. They'll have one that's like their real user, maybe two or three or four. They're like their real users. And then, you know, 15 knives, they keep really nice in good condition. And then when they're kind of with it, they'll trade it or sell it for the next thing that they're excited about and continue recycling. They might have to add a couple dollars, or maybe they'll make a couple dollars, but it makes it possible to sit there and, you know, and stay active with getting different knives. And it's fun, man. Earthquake, you will learn a ton watching these. Thank you, dog. I appreciate it. Better to ask a question and feel silly for 2 seconds than to not ask and stay stupid. That is so true. Yeah, it's good to just ask, man. Especially, like I said, in this community, because nobody's going to make you feel stupid in this community. People will make you feel stupid in this community when you use a blanket dumbass statement. That's when people will, and typically they're still gentlemen about it. Like people will say like something stupid like Damascus is the best steel, right? And then they'll come in and they'll say, well, actually Damascus isn't a steel at all. It's a process. It's a process using multiple different steels and mixing them together, right? So you'd have to say what type of steel the Damascus is. You know, it's not just Damascus. It's like a VG10 Damascus, you know, a 10CR Damascus, whatever. There's different types of Damas steel. That's an RWL 34 Damascus, which is basically like a CPM 154 Damascus. You know, there's different kinds. But people sometimes think stuff like that. So, you know, that's the time when that'll happen. But typically, if you just come in and you just ask a damn question, people are only going to be nothing but helpful. They'll even tell you, you know, like, you know, because like a lot of these, you know, a lot of everybody's on Instagram. You can easily DM them. Like I don't even know how many DMs I get a day. I talk to a lot of people every day that have all kinds of questions, and I try to answer as many as I possibly can. And, you know, and we all kind of, because like Instagram is like, that's the spot for knife guys. Obviously, YouTube's the best, but I just mean Instagram is a platform where you can easily do video chats. You can easily do voice chats. You can, you know, you can just do a lot more. And there's a huge knife community on there. Like every knife guy, not every, but most knife guys are on Instagram. So it makes it to where you can see all the new stuff coming, you know, stay active. Stay active in the community. All right, I got one more to go. Hey, Eric with the 5 bones. Got an old Lansky system. Do I push, pull, sweep up, trying to make do with what I got? Okay, so 2 things. 1, you can push or pull. You push and pull or just push. So let's just say this is your Lansky, right? This is your Lansky, and you got your rod, right? Say the knife's facing this way, right? This way. So it's clamped in there. Go push, right? Now you can also stay on the stone and go back and forth like that, okay? Just don't let the stone go past the tip. You know what? If you really want to know, man, go watch any one of my fixed angle knife sharpening videos. Go watch them. Like, go watch my most recent one on sharpening a Tonto. Most of the information is going to be the same. You're going to have little differences from the system, but like the idea is still the same. Like you're still doing the same motion, same patterns. Like when you do the tip's going to be the exact same. The way you do the burr removal is going to be the same. One thing I will recommend with the Lansky, and you probably don't have this, but I would recommend if you are going to use the Lansky, because it's a tough system to use because it's a lot of movement. It's not very solid, but more importantly, the stones they're not big. They're very small. So in order to sharpen something, especially something thick, it's going to take a long time. But if you get the diamond plates, it will go much faster. So get the diamond plate set. Get the coarsest diamond plate they have, and that will cut. I'm talking about like 20 times faster. Like you will take a knife that'll take you 2 hours to sharpen, and it'll take you like 20 minutes. So that's one thing I recommend. But yes, you can go both ways. Just, you know, you tend to push and then pull back, not just pull back. Unless if you're doing a burr removal, like I said, watch my fixed angle knife sharpening videos. I'll show you. Trust me, dude. I got so many. I even have a Lansky. No, I have an ad from Lansky. I do have a full live sharpening with Lansky stuff, but I think it's mostly freehand. I don't remember if I used a fixed angle system in there or not, but there's man, I got so much sharpening content, dude. Thousands of videos. I have a playlist, by the way. Anybody who needs to know this, on YouTube, if you go to anybody's homepage, right? You go to their homepage, you know, and you can see their stuff. If you go to the top bar where it shows like home, videos, blah, 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 go to playlists. Hit playlists, and what's going to happen is you're going to see all my playlists, my top 10s, fast fives. I have some stuff mixed up a little bit, first impressions, but I have an entire sharpening playlist. You can find all my sharpening videos in there. In the recorded videos, like the lives are great. I have tons of lives just like this on there, but the recorded videos allow me to do B-roll, allow me to get close-ups and change angles and just everything, right? Throw pictures and shit. All kinds of stuff. So it's much more scientific. So watch those videos. That's definitely a good thing to do. I have tons of videos from beginner tutorials to just hacks and everything. But another thing is I have a membership. So if you become a member, we do live sharpenings like this, but it's only with the members. So we do live sharpenings twice a month, and we do giveaways twice a month. So we give away a few different items to a few different people every month. So there's like, I don't even know. The last one we did was 5 mystery boxes, and each mystery box had like 4 or 5 items in there. They all had a budget knife, a mid-grade knife, and a premium knife at the very least. And then other stuff. So, and there was 5 of those. So, you know, that's a pretty damn good package, right? Like, they're expensive packages. So yeah, and but anyways, I gotta go, guys. My phone's gonna get ready to die. I love you guys. I appreciate all the love and feedback. Thank you guys for all the donations tonight. I appreciate all the love and the conversations, and shout out to Ramette for dropping you know, all the bones tonight, and also that the $50 dono, man, that was fucking amazing. And everybody else, man, even, you know, everything down to $1, man, those all count. Those all help the channel. Have you tried the Ruixen system? I have their stones coming. They're bonded stones. I have tried one of their systems, the Ruixen system, but it was a long time ago. And I didn't like it. But I do have their resin bonded diamond stones coming, so we're going to see how those are, because they're very cheap. So we'll see. All right, guys, I love you guys. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.